Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 66 of the Megavision Show, the companion podcast to Megavision's magazine. Today is January the 10th, 2021. I'm Graham Cookson, the production editor of Megavisions, and joining this week, he's tried to be like Grace Kelly, but all her looks were too sad. So he tried a little Freddy. He's gone identity mad. It's Scotty Moe, the managing editor for Megavisions. And yes, he's been broken-hearted, blue since the day we parted. Mamma mia, here we go again. It's the editor-in-chief of Megavisions, Chris Powell. Hey, yes, and it's the first Megavision show of 2021. So Happy New Year to everyone. I think we've still got time to say that. And we're back on the line, going out live on Twitch. So keep us company and fire off any questions you have in the chat. Now that 2020 is over, we'll be doing basically the same thing we've always done. So we'll be answering some of your burning questions. We'll have our picks of the week, where we'll be chatting about a game to play while you wait for Breath of the Wild 2, and a documentary about the actor best known for the Ernest movies. Plus, we'll have a feature discussion where we bring back our little quiz, Graham's Guess the game. So now that we've finally sobered up from the waning hours of 2020, let's crack on with this week's Megavision Show. Yes, we're back live. Hopefully that intro works. Oh my god, that was quite scary actually for me. But as always, we'll start our show with how our week's been going. So, Scotty Moe, let's start with you. Tell us about your first steps into 2021.
Woo, 21, baby. I think that there are gremlins in my game room or my office. I had a nice little fun what the fuck is going on moment recently. For those that don't know, this game room is my work from home office, and also I have a TV in here. Behind the TV are my upscalers and capture cards. I only have one of each of those. I don't know whether plural. But I have them, since I do multiple retro consoles into an upscaler, I have the upscaler literally taped down onto the back of the entertainment center so that I don't have to like wrestle with gravity to always find that when I'm plugging something in. And randomly, one day throughout the week, it came untaped and just fell and scared the shit out of me. Like it fell off the entertainment center, hit the floor, and it scared me. And then as I'm like about to look and see what happened, my keyboard tray falls down onto my lap, and I'm just like, what the fuck is going on? Like everything around me is falling apart. I realize my desk is very broken down, and it should not. It's like a compacted sawdust, and it's been disassembled and reassembled with every move, which you shouldn't do. So like underneath, the one thing holding the whole thing together is kind of just gradually always spreading apart. And so I had to like push that so that my TV tray, my keyboard tray didn't fall down. Actually, the upscaler has fallen off again. All I see is the donut of tape on the back of my entertainment center. So that was a fun like what's happening. But that aside, I guess that's how exciting my life is, guys. I've been reading Ready Player 2, and now I'm enjoying it. It took about a third of the book before anything started happening. Chris, I think you read that one. I know
I've started it. I'm not as far into it as you are, but I'm totally seeing what you're talking about. Like there's not a lot happening yet. I was hoping it'd have a lot more action up to this point.
I mean, it should follow. Hey, what up, Social Gamer in the Twitch there? It should follow like most sequel guidelines and just like go right in. Like, there's no need to add story, especially, and it's not even like it's adding story as if you've not read the first one. It's still just like laying out crap you don't care about, other than making the main character sound more like a shithead than he was in the first book.
Yeah, there's also, I mean, you also don't have to worry about introducing characters and all the same like character arcs that you normally go through when you're introducing a first of a movie or a book or any of that kind of stuff.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, I'm hopeful with it. I already am seeing. I may have even talked about it on a past podcast, so I won't go too much into it. But I'm not super impressed with the way he writes his dialogue. But it sounds good though. It sounds like it's picking up though.
Yeah, it does. I will say that I didn't notice the dialogue until you mentioned it previously, but now I do very much see that it is an adult trying to think how teenagers talk.
Hello, fellow kids.
Yeah, stuff like that. Like, it's very like Disney line delivered kind of stuff that is just not something anyone says to the other one. I mean, Ready Player One, I almost feel like I should not have watched the movie before reading this book, because now I can't get out of my head how the characters look in the movie, and I was pretty underwhelmed with what they did, which I understand. I just think the biggest flaw of the movie is that they didn't make the main character look like a fat, acne-covered kid at first. Like, he was never unattractive. He never looked like he was... He always looked like he was, like, the stereotypical overprivileged white boy. So you didn't feel bad for him when bad stuff happened. But in the book, you create what he looks like in your head and everything, and that kind of lent to it more. Lent to the development more, I guess, or something. But I'm liking it. I'm reading it probably quicker than I read the first one, which is saying something because I'm not a fast reader. This is going to be... I don't want to say too much because this might be spoilers, but it upsets me how little console gaming references, and not only that, but how little Sega is mentioned in either of these books, based on his love for his obvious love for arcades and 80 movies. Like, somehow Sega is still barely mentioned in these books, even though they thrived in arcades at one point.
I can't help but have this feeling like, I think, well, Ernest Cline, I think he has great ideas. I think the idea of this book and this series is fantastic. I think it's just, and so I think from that standpoint, I think he's really good. It's just like when he's trying to, I think he just doesn't execute everything, in like a top tier writer could.
So. I feel like in this one more than the first one, even, like, he lays out every reference and everything is like something everyone's seen 1,000 times. Like, of course, yeah, Ferris Bueller. You don't need to describe this scene in Ferris Bueller's Day Off. We know what you're talking about. I was very happy to hear Johnny Mnemonic mentioned in this one, because I feel like that's a sci-fi almost B movie that not many people have seen. But if you've seen it, you know it, and you either love it or think it's the dumbest thing in the world. So it was cool to see. It was cool to see that in there. It's a lot of it is kind of scary because it is eerily accurate to what probably would happen if we all had fully functioning, affordable VR headsets and stuff. Like, yeah, the world probably would go further into shit than it is already.
Can you talk quickly just about the premise of this of the book?
The second one, I don't think it's spoilers because it's pretty obvious what happens in the first one, even if you've just seen the trailer or if you just know like there's a sequel, so there has to be. But in the first one, Parzival ends up winning the contest. That's spoilers, but not spoilers, because it's pretty obvious he's going to be victorious because he's the underdog. He's the poor kid from the slums and everything. So this one picks up almost right after that, and it kind of flashes back to certain things, but it's him and just dealing with the world post contest. And I can't. The part that it gets exciting, I definitely did not see it coming. So I was excited about that because everything else is relatively predictable, right down to like, yeah, he's going to talk about the cars in his garage. Of course, the DeLorean's there. Of course, he's got whatever from whatever movie. Like, everything up until that point was very, yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. Cool. Yeah, whatever. So I'm very interested to see how they do the second one as a movie with certain parts that I think... Oh, Chris, you're muted. I think you probably... Like, you know that I can't say what I'm talking about, but I'm curious to see how they develop in a movie.
Yeah, I was actually going to ask you that. That was my follow-up question, was how do you think this one's going to translate to a movie? And do you feel like it's been written with that in mind?
I think part of it has, for sure, and that might be why he's doing more of the generic 80s tropes. Or not even generic 80s tropes, but it's like, yes, we all love... Oh, God. What was his name? Breakfast Club, Home Alone.
James. God.
Shit. I literally just read his name in the book last night, and I can't remember the guy. John Hughes?
Yes, John
Yes.
Hughes.
Yeah, that's right.
It's very much like, we've seen these John Hughes movies. We know what you're talking about. But so to that extent, like, it's going to be obvious how they portray it in a movie, but at the same time, like, if they don't get the rights to John Hughes stuff, they're going to have to completely rewrite like 3 chapters out of this book. Kind of not to, like, almost to the extent I feel they'd have to redo it like they did the first challenge in the movie. That was not just him slowly walking through a dungeon. They had to make it like a death race, which makes sense because watching, like, basically hearing and watching a kid play D&D by himself is probably not entertaining for the big screen. So I can see why they changed that.
Well, and that's the thing too, is like, I would imagine with the first book, he probably didn't have in mind, like, this is going to become a blockbuster movie. Like, he had it in his head of like the story he was going to create. Well, the second book, even though he may have already had it kind of plotted out in his mind before that, you would think that, now that he knows this is a pretty big series, and whoever produced that first movie or backed it, I can't remember if it was Sony or who did the first one.
Oh, you mean company? Because Spielberg directed it, so.
Yeah, I can't remember what company was it, but you would imagine that they're really excited about getting that sequel action, and so they're probably really invested on like what's happening in this, and I would be really interested if they had some like meetings before he actually did this, and they're kind of getting an idea, and maybe they could even start doing like pre-production stuff too. It's cool. That's part of the business I think fascinates me a little bit of like, how does this happen? And as a writer, do you have that in your head, and do you try to kind of integrate set pieces in your book that's going to translate well to the movie?
So just so you know, it's Warner Brothers and Amblin Entertainment and Vintage Roadshow, like the Warner Brothers studios basically who made it.
Is Amblin Spielberg's company?
Yeah, that's the one with E.T. as the logo.
Yeah.
Man, if they can't get John Hughes shit, because I know some of his movies were released by Fox, I don't know what they're going to do. There's a lot of music. There's a lot of things tied to specific songs in this thing as well. So like if they can't get the rights, this thing's either going to have an insane budget or be rewritten basically for the big screen.
Oh no.
So yeah. But I will say the biggest compliment I can give to Ernest Cline when he's writing this, he doesn't explain word for word every reference, because he mentions that Oh Yeah by Yellow plays when they walk onto a bus, and it's like, oh, I know that because not just because I love the Ferris Bueller movie, but because like I've looked up that soundtrack, I wanted that song, I know that it's by Yellow. Like he didn't go out of the way to say it's the thing that plays in the credits if you watch all the credits when the principal's walking onto the bus. Like he doesn't do that for every single reference, and I appreciate, because A, they're very popular references, and B, you don't need to, because it almost insults the reader. They can go off and do their own research.
I felt like he did do that a little bit in the first book.
I think he did more when he was describing arcade games and like the not the movies, but like everything else. Basically, I felt like he went into more detail than he needed to.
I am excited to finish the book though, so I'm interested to see what you think of when you wrap it up.
Yeah, I'm wondering how they would do a third one if they do, because before I even read the first one, the fact that you told me the second one is out and coming up and it's Ready Player 2, I thought that's the dumbest. That's just the least creative title, but it makes sense for this book, and I cannot say why, despite the fact that it clarifies it in the first chapter. But yeah, I'm enjoying it so far, but not as much as the first, and I honestly think part of that was because I watched the movie, because I can't remember what the character should look like in my head. There's your Ready Player 2 talk for the week. I'll mention my pickups real quick. I got this sweet shirt from Limited Run. It says Limited Run Games. It's purple, and it's in the Night Trap kind of.
I was about to say, it looks like Night Trap. Yeah, like Night Trap font.
Yeah, they did that on purpose. And then the latest release by The Midnight, their Halloween EP, just called Horror Show, came in. Pretty cool cover. What's that?
Did that just release?
It's only on Amazon Music right now, digitally. Really cool. I don't know if this is going to come up very well, but it's like a smoke black color vinyl.
Oh yeah, that looks
kind of see
sweet.
through it a little bit there.
Yeah.
So, but it's nice. I wasn't too excited about the packaging because one side of it is a little bit damaged, but it's only an EP, so it's not like doubly secured or whatever. But yeah, I mean that was just pickups because it just showed up after Christmas and whatever. So I'll probably have some more pickups next week because this coming Thursday is my birthday. Hooray! That in mind, though, I do want to mention this because it was like an event in my week and a lot of other people's. Most people watching and listening to this probably know what Scott Pilgrim is based on either the graphic novels, the movie, or the video game that was released 11 years ago now in 2010. Brian Lee O'Malley is the writer who did this graphic novel that was just a love letter to... It was like Ready Player One before Ready Player One almost. Just due to the game references, other nerd culture stuff, and with the movie, definitely like the hipster culture. Are you guys familiar with Scott Pilgrim, or which avenues of it are you familiar with?
I've only seen the movie, so that's all I know.
I've seen the movie.
I know it's other things, but yeah, the movie's the only thing I've seen.
So neither of you have read the books?
No.
I recommend them. They're pretty good. They're pretty fleshed out. The movie came out as the sixth book was being written, so the endings differ wildly, and also the books encapsulate like multiple years of Scott's life, whereas the movie is like feels like a weekend or something.
Yeah.
I thought the movie was just like a one-off story in those books, and the franchise. I thought the books.
The second. The second book is called Scott Pilgrim versus the World.
Okay.
Sorry?
Okay, fair enough. I was sorry. I think there's a bit of delay, but yeah. So are you saying all the books cover the movie, or just one of the books?
The movie covers large avenues of the books, except for the sixth one, because the sixth one was being written as like Brian Lee O'Malley had a lot to do with the movie, so he said, "Okay, I'm going to write an ending for the movie, but it's probably going to be different from the book." When the movie came out, Scott Pilgrim was everywhere. Though, if you were in a certain group, you knew a lot about Scott Pilgrim, even if you hadn't read them. Because the game is a brawler with music, which has an amazing soundtrack by chiptunes pop punk artist Anamanaguchi. It is it's a side-scrolling brawler, 4-player. Scott Pilgrim, I guess I'll give a brief rundown if nobody's ever heard of Scott Pilgrim. Nothing against you if you haven't, because it's been in the ether, but not. Scott Pilgrim is a guy who falls in love with a girl while he's dating another girl, and he's in a cool band, and they're called the Sex Bombs. And he's got to figure it out, and this new girl that he's into, she's got 7 evil exes that he has to fight to earn her love. That's basically it.
Yeah, it's the weirdest story.
Yeah, it's fun, though. The story's very good, and it's relatively progressive for its time as well. I really like the story. I have a couple of the books. They've been re-released in color and stuff, but they're written like manga almost, but not like Japanese backwards to us. But anyway, this game was released digital only, and then it was taken down. It was delisted shortly after you could get DLC for it that added characters. And the biggest fault of it, when it came out, it did not have online multiplayer. So it's a 4-player brawler only on digital avenues. You only had couch co-op. And then after the fact, online multiplayer was released, but nobody was playing it then. And then it got delisted, so like nobody could play it if they wanted to. It's made by Ubisoft. For years, everybody was sending death threats to Ubisoft, Brian Lee O'Malley, Anamanaguchi, because somehow they thought that since Anamanaguchi did the soundtrack, they were purposely preventing people from downloading the game. They wrote the soundtrack because they were asked to, and it doesn't even belong to them. So that was I hate that. And I realize now I sound like a spokesperson for Anamanaguchi with one of their beanies on, and then limited run t-shirt on.
You slave.
I know. I wish I would let. Hey, limited run, Josh, Brian, anybody, anybody from Anamanaguchi, Pete, if you guys want to sponsor us, be our guests. So, long story short, Ubisoft. I don't know. Yeah, and long story short, this was the most requested game by Limited Run, I think, to get a physical release because of what happened with the delisting. This is what I preach to everyone. I think most of us on the show preach to everybody, get a physical version if you can, because the download stuff's just going to disappear one day. Well, I'm sitting on my lunch Friday, and I guess fast forward, people are screaming at Ubisoft, Brian Lee O'Malley, everybody, like, make this game again. Ubisoft, it's the 10-year anniversary. Re-release this game. We will buy it. What is your fucking problem? Meanwhile, Ubisoft has been like a piece of shit lately anyway, with how different things revolving around drama with their work environments and everything else has been going on. All they put out is Assassin's Creed and Watch Dogs anymore. Who cares? But then it got announced, Scott Pilgrim is coming back, the complete edition, everything, all the DLC with it. It's coming out digitally everywhere. Not only that, but it's coming out on my birthday, January 14th, which is cool. And then Friday, they said, Limited Run comes out and says, yo, what's up, bitches? We're doing 4 different versions of this goddamn game with insane bonus stuff with it. So I'm just like, what the fuck? Oh my gosh, what the fuck? What the fuck? And so the game's getting physically re-released. It's going to have, there's a collection. The KO Collector's Edition, which is what I'm getting. I should have brought this up, but let's find it real quick. Is going to have the game itself, reversible artwork, which includes, I might turn into a robot for a second here as I'm loading this on my page, but I'm very excited about this, as most people are. Let's see if it loads. So Limited Run always does crazy different collector's editions aside from physical. It's coming out on PS4 and, oh, you piece of shit. It's coming out on PS4 and Switch right now. They said it is going to come to Xbox and PC, Graham. They're going to try to do an Xbox physical version. So good news for you, I guess.
Wow.
Okay, here it is. The KO edition includes the game Complete Classic Edition, which means like the Streets of Rage, it's going to have the bigger fake Genesis box clamshell thing. Premium Hardshell Roadie Collector's Case box featuring working lights and sound. Opening the case turns on lights and sound, music from Anamanaguchi, as well as revealing a pop-up scene from Sex Bomb. Anyway, it has an instruction booklet, reversible color, a concert ticket, a hardcover strategy guide, a CD and a cassette of the soundtrack, drumsticks, guitar picks, stickers, and some pins, enamel pins. That's the crazy super duper edition. They're also doing like hoodies and a pin set.
How much is that going to set you back?
Edition. Oh, that's going to be $140.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah.
That is a lot of stuff.
And then the regular is like $35.
Okay. Well, that is a decent amount of stuff for your dollar there.
Yeah, it's crazy. The reversible art I was about to say has Scott Pilgrim in the pose like Sonic from Sonic Adventure that everyone's losing their shit over, as well as like a background to the old Japanese cover art of Sonic games. So I'm probably getting the KO edition for PS4 and the regular version on Switch, and I'm definitely getting those pins because I'm a psychotic person and it's my birthday and I don't give a shit.
This is basically made for you specifically, Scotty.
Yeah.
A little bit. All I need to do is like put a guitar in there or something. But this is easily one of the most requested partnerships with Limited Run. Everybody wants, like, there's no way to like legally buy the Anamanaguchi soundtrack. There are hints at a vinyl release of this coming out. It's crazy. It's just nutty that this is finally happening, and it's long overdue. And we're definitely streaming in on Thursday Night Throwdown, so I don't know what else. I am sorry that I preoccupied what I've been doing and playing and everything. But it's like this is a small victory for... It's not that this was an indie-developed game, it's Ubisoft, but at the same time, everything about Scott Pilgrim it feels indie. So
Yeah.
I would like to see them possibly look at Stubbs the Zombie for maybe one like down the line. Stubbs the Zombie is released on the OG Xbox, and it features a lot of the similarities between Scott Pilgrim being delisted and everything else, and Stubbs the Zombie is very similar. Stubbs the Zombie has a lot of licensed music, but what they did is they got like punk and ska bands to redo like 50s era like sock hop style songs and music, because that's when the game is set in. You're this like businessman, you get turned into a zombie, and you're basically have to go around like turning other people into zombies, and then you control them to go out and like kind of do your bidding. It's really kind of a unique, cool game. I don't think it's as good of a game as Scott Pilgrim is, but the soundtrack's so good, and it's very quirky. It has so much charm, some really fun voice acting. I definitely think it deserves a re-release at some point down the line, and I hope limited run, if they ever get to looking at that game. I think it deserves it.
That Stub Zombies is like one of my white whales of gaming. I had the opportunity to buy it many times when I was younger, but it was when I was a kid who didn't really have money. So buying games for like full price, I was just like, oh, not sure. That's like 40 quid. I'm not sure about it. And this is like a Sega game or something. I'd go, oh yeah, I want that. But yeah, this was like, not sure about this. And I've regretted it ever since because I've always wanted to play that game. And it then went delisted off like digital stores and stuff, and you can't get it. And
now it's super expensive. If you ever come across it at a decent price, I pick it up because it has gone up in price quite a bit. So
Scotty, is that you for this week?
Yes. Sorry, I'm looking at Scott Pilgrim stuff on Limited Run site now. What is nice, they are going to do it's not going to be just 10 and 6 o'clock like they normally do for their pre-orders. It's going to be open for a couple of weeks, so that's nice.
That's good to know.
It's a big win for like the movie did not do commercially well. It made like half its budget back.
Wow.
I recommend the books to anybody. Give them a shot. There's references throughout. His band's name in high school was literally Sonic and Knuckles in the book. So Brian Lee O'Malley digs the Sega. So yeah,
nice.
Apparently more than Ernest Cline.
Yeah. What the hell?
Okay, so Chris, how's your start to 2021 been? How have you been doing, my friend?
It's actually been going pretty well because I got a new TV. I don't know if I talked about it last time, but I was saying as I needed to get this new TV to replace my old like Vizio. Before I got like a PS5 or a Series X, I felt like I needed to get the TV first. To my luck, my old TV just randomly crapped out like a couple weeks ago. Just one night, Jamie and I were sitting there watching a movie and just turns off. And I was like, oh, crap. Well, I was like, well, I know what I'm doing tomorrow. So I went down to Best Buy and picked up a Sony Bravia. It's the X900H model, which is one of their higher-end, more affordable TVs. Is about like $1,300 or so. But it does 4K with a 120 hertz refresh rate. Which Sony, I think they just put out like their firmware update to be able to do that because the PS5 and the Series S and the Series X can both support 4K at 120 hertz. I was able to get it going with my Series S this past week, and I will say I actually feel like it is a next generation experience, if that makes any sense, because before I felt like my TV, like it just didn't look that great because even though it was like technically 4K, just the TV itself was so crappy. I felt like I didn't get it. But now with it being so clear, it's a much bigger TV. Also in my living room, it's a 65 inch. I think that before we had like a 52 or a 55 inch. It looks so awesome. And playing like Forza Horizon 4 on that at 120 hertz is so badass. I love it. I was also playing Yakuza Like a Dragon. It looks so goddamn good on that TV. It's insane. And then I go from that. I have like some sort of like Fire TV in our game room, and it's supposedly like a 4K TV too. But I think we bought it for like $400, really cheap. And it's just like there's no comparison between that. And so I think if you end up getting a PS5 or a Series X or S, but you don't have the TV, I know it sounds like it's common sense, right? But if you really don't have a TV that's going to get the most out of those consoles, then I don't think you'll necessarily have the full experience that you would to make it feel like it's a next-gen console. Because if you're just watching it and you're using your same TV that may be a few years old now and doesn't have the latest features like the 120 hertz refresh rate and things like that, you're not going to get that full experience, and it won't feel like a next-gen system,
I totally know what you're talking about, because I think I might have mentioned it before in the show, like when I used to have like Xbox 360 and stuff, like basically when I first got that, I had the old school CRT TV, and playing games on it. I was like, these games look good, but it wasn't until I got like an HD TV, and it wasn't even full HD to be honest. It was actually 720, the first one I got because I couldn't afford a full HD. I like realized, whoa, oh, the graphics are like really good. And then I eventually got a 1080p. I was like, this is what I've been missing out on. Oh my god! Like, this is what all my online friends have been playing. Like playing Halo 2 on 1080p. I was like, oh, I can actually see stuff in the distance now. I can see bad guys in the distance. Like, but you don't really realize it. You feel like you're not missing out on stuff, and then you do it. You're like, oh, okay. Like, this is it. So
You still don't own a Sega CD? Like that feeling.
It's so funny because my Jamie, she is the complete opposite of me. Whereas I love this kind of stuff. I love tech. I love gadgets. Like I just love this stuff. So, but she's the opposite end of the spectrum. When I first met her, she had this like tiny little like 7-inch TV. The thing was, it wasn't tiny. It was gigantic. The screen wasn't very big, but the thing was like 4 feet wide and weighed like 200 pounds. It was just gigantic. And she would still have that TV today, guarantee you. If I didn't like force her to buy a new TV, she'd probably still have it and be perfectly fine with it. It drives me crazy.
Kate is exactly the same.
Meanwhile, you
When
have
I first met her, she had like a
consoles
20-inch.
yeah, it's crazy. I did get a pickup that I wanted to show real quick. It's Yakuza Like a Dragon. It is it's a limited edition or collector's edition. This was done by Pix and Love. This is really the only collector's edition they did. Like they didn't do a big, so Sega at least didn't do a big one that was released here in the States. So the only way to do it is to import one from Pix and Love. I don't know if I'm going to open it or not yet though. So it's all in here. It comes with like lots of different, like little goodies and stuff. Nothing like the Scott Pilgrim limited run, but
Nothing.
Nope.
Just throw it away.
Nothing like that.
Just toss it in the trash now.
I will say, I'm absolutely loving this game. I bought it digitally because I didn't want to wait, for Pix and Love to do it. But like I said, I started playing it on the PS4 when it first released. But then when I got the new TV, I'm like, you know what? I don't have a PS5 yet, so I do have a Series S, so I bought it again digitally on my Series S, so I could play it down there. And then the actual physical edition showed up like a week later.
Right.
But I'm absolutely loving it, and man, I'm so happy with Yakuza Like a Dragon. Graham, I was saying before, I wish I could talk more about this game because I feel like I'm now really getting into the meat of the game. It's opening up. I'm enjoying it so much more. You have a funny story about Yakuza Like a Dragon that we discovered this week. You have to tell it because this is crazy. I love it.
Okay, so when Megavisions first started many years ago as a digital magazine, our fantastic artist Rob, he was doing these awesome cover arts and middle artworks and stuff for the magazine, and it's all digital. But we wanted to get like some of these cool images out there, so we thought let's do like a TeePublic style thing. So getting this artwork on T-shirts and mugs and stuff, via TeePublic. So that's an easy way to do it. We never really thought we'd like make millions off it or anything, and we haven't, just to be clear. Barely sell any of them, but we don't really advertise it, I must admit. But one of our original, actually, have I got? Okay. Oh, actually, I've got it on my wall. Wait 1 second. Hold on a second.
You have the part on the wall, I guess, is what he's talking about.
Yeah, I think he printed it out.
Sorry, I've got some of the art printed out. So we actually had a Yakuza. Actually, I've got the wait. 1 second. One more second. Sorry.
Number 2, I think. Apparently, he's going to get his phone to show us the cover of issue 2 because that was released digitally. But I don't know. I'm just
I printed out the things to go on my wall, like for the first issues of the digital ones, just for keepsakes. So nice glossy photo paper. So this is the front cover of one of our issues, which is based on Yakuza, obviously. I think
let the listeners know what it.
Oh, so for the listeners out there, it's so Rob drew this kind of cool. I've forgotten his name. Kiryu, like the main guy from the original Yakuza. games. He's like standing in a Sega arcade. They've got like virtual fighter cabinets behind him. He's actually holding a massive gun, which he doesn't really do in the game, but it kind of looks badass. And there's like loads of other sort of Yakuza style characters. And
I think he took that from the zombie offshoot game that they had.
Okay, yeah.
I think they did have guns in that game, didn't they?
I own that game, but I've never played it.
I think
same.
Yeah, Dead Souls. So, in the issue we were covering, I think it might be like Yakuza 4 or Yakuza 5 was coming out or something at the time. And I think we had a preview of it. We wanted to have some Yakuza stuff. But in the center of the issue, we had this lovely bit of artwork, which is another one with kind of a Kiryu-style character. And then the background is kind of this awesome like dragon style, like his tattoo kind of on his back, but it's not quite exactly the same. But yeah, anyway, so it's like Kiryu and this dragon style. And we uploaded this image onto TeePublic, made it as part of a t-shirt and stuff, and we named it Yakuza Like a Dragon. So that's the name of it, and we uploaded that like 4 or 5 years ago or something. Tornado Jones mentions, yes, he had a big sniper rifle in... Oh, sorry. I was just saying Tornado Jones said he had a big sniper rifle.
If you scroll down and click on merch, you can see the t-shirt and buy it there.
Okay, cool. Nice. Thanks.
Just dropped a link in the chat, too.
Oh, perfect.
Or that, too.
We had Yakuza Like a Dragon about 4 or 5 years before Sega released Yakuza Like a Dragon. And we only really remembered this the other day when someone bought one of the t-shirts. So they must have been like typing in Yakuza Like a Dragon merchandise or something, and it must have just popped up or something. I don't know.
We're the only ones that have it. Exclusive, baby.
Exclusive, yeah. And the t-shirt version doesn't have this massive Megavisions logo in the corner. It's more, yeah. So yeah, that's kind of the story, really. That's what it is.
And we're gonna get copyright, like trademark struck.
Yeah, we're probably going to get Sega's probably going to come and get us for this.
First.
Yeah, we did. So can we technically say Sega? Wait a second, you owe us the money because we had this before you. This has been out there. This has been out there for years. Come on.
I don't mind giving Sega like the $2 profit that we got probably off that one.
Oh no! I think we need the profits from their game sales now. That's what we need. That's what we're asking for.
Jones in the chat says, just furthers the theory that people listen to us and use our ideas. Lol. Which has happened before with other influencers and companies. And he does confirm that he did have a big sniper rifle in that game, Dead Souls.
Yeah.
Dead Souls,
cool.
Yep.
So, Corey, just so you know, I already spent like 20 minutes talking about Scott Pilgrim, and you need to back me up that it's the most important thing right now.
Oh, dear. So while Corey's doing that, Chris, is there anything else that you've picked up or you've done this week? Or
you know what? Nope, that's it.
That's it. Okay.
Yep.
Cool. So I'll try and go through my stuff quite quickly because I know we've been doing this for a while. Tornado Jones says it's more important than anything else in my life about Scott Pilgrim. So there you go, confirmed. There you go, Scotty, vindicated.
In my garbage truck.
Nice.
Truck. Anyway.
So this week, I have recently discovered a TV show that ended like last year, Schitt's Creek. What a twist.
David.
Sorry, what was that, Scotty?
You're not the only one that... basically, the world learned of this show now that it's been cancelled.
Yeah, it's bizarre. Like, I knew of the show. It was kind of aired on TV over here, but not like a really popular time or anything. And also the trailer, I don't know if it's about in America or if like the American production studio made these trailers for the UK, but the trailers they were showing in the UK for the show made me not want to watch it. Basically, I saw them and was just like, that looks like a terrible idea for a show. This doesn't look funny. These characters look annoying. I don't want to watch this. But it won so many awards and so many people have been saying how good it is. Like even people I know have actually sort of seen it and gone, it's brilliant. It's amazing. You got to see it. And I was like, okay. I was thinking I've run out of shows to watch at the moment. And Kate and I just sat down. It's on Netflix. And I was like, why don't we give it a try? About halfway through the first episode, I was thinking, I think I was just in that mood of like, I don't like this show. And I was like halfway through the first episode, I was like, yeah, it's okay. I mean, the characters are a little bit annoying. It's not that great. By the end of the first episode, I was like, I want to watch the next one. And then after the second one, I was like, this is one of the funniest things I've ever seen. So I've been basically watching it. I think I'm on to season 2 now, and I'm just really enjoying it. I think it's a very, very good show. It's probably not the funniest show I've ever seen, but I think it's very good. I love the characters, especially the son. And I've actually like most of them. Like, in fact, I pretty much like all the characters so far in it. There's some of them that have these annoying quirks, but because of that, they're actually kind of fun characters.
Yeah.
And no one's quite the stereotypical character. There's some that have some stereotypes, and some of them you think, oh, it's just going to be one of the stereotypical characters. But then they'll do or say something, you're like, oh, okay, they're actually quite intelligent, or they're not quite the character I thought they were going to be. So,
I think one of the important things that it has going for it is all the characters are flawed and relatable. I think it's one thing that's very important in a show like that, because you want a character that you can connect with. But you also want them to be a flawed character. You have to see them grow and get better. And this show does that so well, because you're right. Like in the beginning, they're all just like very superficial. They are selfish. But even through that, there's still a love there, and they're a family in their own way. But then you see them continue to like grow. And when the series wraps up, Jamie and I watched the whole series. I was bawling my eyes out in that last episode. I was super emotional because I knew that this was like it. This is like these characters. Like I love those characters so much, and I knew that was the end. And so I'm excited for you guys.
Okay,
because there's so much good stuff. Like such good characters. I love it.
Excellent. And just in case anyone doesn't know about the show, essentially what it is, there's this family who are very rich, very well off, and at the very, very start of the first episode, effectively, it turns out their business manager has basically taken all their money and just run away. So they've basically lost everything. Lost the mansion, they've lost all their property. The only thing they've got is like some of the clothes that they could basically take with them. And it turns out that several years before, for a joke, the dad had bought this crappy old town for his son for his birthday one year, like his 18th birthday.
I don't think you can do that.
That's the weird thing. Can you buy a town? But yeah, he did it, and it was a joke. That's kind of the funny thing about it. It was just a joke, and they'd completely forgotten about it. But it's kind of a really crap backwater town, and it's so bad that the government didn't want to take it off their hands. They're just like, yeah, you can just go live there, basically. And they're basically forced to go and live in the motel there, basically. And so yeah, they're really rich and superficial, and they've had this like very privileged lifestyle in this backwater town kind of thing. They're not idiots, but they just have a more simplistic lifestyle, if that was what makes sense. But yeah, you sort of see that with their superficial life, they're kind of idiots about certain things, but in theory, they're better educated people, whereas the people in the town are less well educated, but it's just a different style, kind of lifestyle. But I like that the stereotypes do have like, they have minor stereotypes about the different characters, but at the same time you can see the cracks through them, that they are just people. And as you say, Chris, they're very relatable. Each of the characters I found are very relatable, and it's just so funny. Really good. I know Tornado Jones says about the adverts. When I said the adverts over here just were rubbish for the show, he says that happens a lot. Happened on a show called Reaper that I loved. Yes, I remember watching Reaper. I think I only saw the first season or so. I don't know if it did much more, but I loved that show. That was really fun.
That was the first show I saw. What's the one guy? He went on to be in Tucker and Dale. It was the friend on Reaper. It was his. It wasn't the main character, but he's gone on. He's done lots of stuff. He's in big movies now. He had another show too where he was like a medium. He could see dead people. Oh, it was awesome. And it was like based in New York City, and he just worked at this like little corner stand where he sold newspapers. But then he would go on like these he'd take on people's problems and stuff if they're getting haunted and stuff. It was hilarious.
So apparently his name was Socks in Reaper. Says Tornado Jones. His name was Socks in the show. I know exactly who you're talking about. I can't actually remember the actor's name or anything, but. Yeah, it's annoying when they do that. And that's happened with movies and stuff as well, I found. Tyler Labine?
Yep, yeah. Tyler Labine.
Nice.
He's good.
That must be the guy that's not in Firefly. Right. He's the other half of Dale and Tucker. So.
Yeah. Cool.
And I'll add to that, Graham, because you didn't mention who the cast is. It's Eugene Levy, his son, Catherine. What is her last name? The mom in Home Alone, the mom in Beetlejuice.
Yeah,
I thought it was Hair. Is it something like?
Yes, yeah, Catherine
so.
O'Hara. Yeah.
And I don't know the other actress, unfortunately. But
I fell in love with her. She is very pretty. I'll say that. I'll just say that.
Yeah.
Let's say
I haven't seen that show, but I'll also say that I think internally, Chris and I are disappointed that you think there's nothing else to watch on Netflix when Cobra Kai season 3 just came out.
Oh no, I do want to watch that.
No joke.
Yeah.
But Kate, I watch shows with Kate quite often, like of an evening, and I've seen the first 2 seasons of Cobra Kai. She's not seen any of them. I'm like, we can't watch season 3 without you watching the first 2. And it's like, okay, I'll watch it at some point. I'm just like, oh my god, please watch them.
Johnny Lawrence's character in that show is so good. That actor, man, I forget his name, but he's awesome. He's so good in the show.
Yeah,
I love it.
Yeah, there's a lot of I can't say anything because it's very hard to not spoil what's going on in the show, but there's so many characters that they do such a good job of making you hate them, and that's it's one of the few shows that after I watch an episode, I sit there and think like, I need to better my life in certain areas.
I think the show also shows like how to do these type of shows because it respects the source material, it respects the prior characters, and it integrates them in such a way that I've not seen another show do like something like this. I think the writing is just really good on this show. Much better. The series is so much better than it should be. It should just be corny and stupid. It probably if you told me the premise, I would have loved it, but the execution, I would have thought there's no way they're going to nail this thing, and they did. And it's awesome.
It's so good. Just touching point from.
Corey points out, oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Okay, no, Scotty, you go ahead. Sorry.
To tie up the Cobra Kai stuff, Corey points out, Tornado Jones points out that in season 3, Proto Men, the musical group, the Proto Men, actually has a cover of "In the Air Tonight" somewhere in there, which is pretty cool as well.
Nice.
I was just going to say my last thing about Cobra Kai. It's really cool that they acknowledge the movies outside of just the first one, because I feel like that's all anyone remembers is like there was one Karate Kid movie. So,
yeah, that's cool. And just to touch on what you were saying about Schitt's Creek, Annie Murphy is the daughter, so like the other sort of main actress in it. It was Catherine O'Hara, Eugene Levy, Dan Levy, his actual son, and Chris Elliott, who's in most of the things.
Chris is my favorite.
You may not really know who he is, but yeah, he's like in There's Something About Mary. He's in Groundhog Day.
Scary Movie.
Yes,
I own his autobiography. I'm a huge Chris Elliott fan.
Okay. Yeah, so he's a
Cabin Boy.
Yeah, he's great. And William Zabka is the actor who does Johnny Lawrence in Cobra Kai. Yeah, so there we go. So yeah, some great shows. So yeah, hopefully I'll watch Cobra Kai soon. And I'll tell you more about Schitt's Creek when I get through a bit more of it. But yeah, other than that, I have actually got some pickups. One is a game by Ubisoft, which I'm enjoying, but I will talk about that later in the show, so I won't say anything more. I got a little surprise the other day. Just randomly got a parcel from like somewhere, and it's a little Shenmue 3 capsule toy. Oh, so I guess that's from my Kickstarter backing. So I've got, it's a Shenhua is in there. I don't know if you can see it. I'm just showing it to the camera. Little Shenhua. I haven't actually opened it.
It's going to be 30 fucking years from now, and people are still just randomly one day like, what is this? You pick it up, it's a Shenmue 3 thing. Like, I forgot.
Yeah.
Prizes are going to be releasing until Shenmue 4 comes out.
Yeah, I'd actually forgotten what I was meant to get with it. I got the game one day. I was like, oh, yeah, I got the game. Fantastic. And then like 3 or 4 months later, I got a T-shirt. I was like, oh. I was like, has Sega sent me this to me or something? Sometimes I get stuff from Sega. Then I realized, oh, wait, this is actually one of my Kickstarter things. And then, today, it's 2 days ago this came through. I was just like, wow. Oh, dear. And also, very exciting. So I did mention this on the other show the other week, that I wanted to get for Christmas those Sega cushions, and they've actually finally kept. I didn't get them for Christmas on my birthday. Scotty's pointing at behind him. He's got the Dreamcast ones there. So he's got the Dreamcast controller, which is awesome. And he's also got the, what have you got there, Scotty? He's also got the console cushion. Well, I really want to get the Dreamcast ones. I couldn't though. In the UK, at least, it's sold out in the Sega shop Europe. Although Scotty, I know you did put up a link to another site that is selling them, but I'll try. I haven't actually looked at that, to be honest. But I did get the Sega Saturn cushion, and I got the Mega Drive cushion.
That's cool.
Plus the Saturn controller and
Ridiculous.
the Mega Drive controller. And yeah, these things are huge. Because, just to give you an example, this is what I thought I was be getting. This is a Harry Potter cushion, basically. It's like a little cushion, not very big, maybe like 20 or 30 centimeters across in height, it's a little square. And yeah, this is
size up for a 4-year-old kid, probably.
Comparison. This is my comparison, you can see.
The other one is the size for your average American.
Times the size of that Harry Potter pillow.
Yeah, like this tiny controller pillow cushion for... It's
huge. Mine compared to yours. Okay, well, listeners, just take that as you will.
It's like a giant croissant.
The Genesis controller is like two gram heads, and it also is. Are those reversible as well? Like this controller?
They are. Yes, they're reversible, so you can it can open it up and it turns it into a proper neck pillow that you can take on planes. But they're kind of shaped like neck pillows already. They're great.
You know what? Someone could turn that into a functional controller.
Probably.
You could do that if you just put like little like buttons and stuff like that. I guarantee you there's people out there that could turn that thing into a real controller, which would be awesome.
The thing is,
your dream.
These are I'm actually surprised at the quality of these as well. Like the actual design on them is really good. They go into a lot of detail. They've got all the stuff on the back, the front and stuff. But they actually the main cushions are super soft. They're so comfortable to touch. And the controllers are a bit firmer.
I love how excited Graham is for this.
Like,
this is awesome.
I was genuinely, seriously, I was thinking these are going to be small, crappy things. I'm just going to be like, oh, that's a cool thing, nice thing to have. Because they're actually on sale at the moment, or they were when I bought them. So I was like, oh, yeah kind of nice to have. But I've been using these on my sofa, in my bed, and stuff like that. Like I've been taking this to bed and actually using it as I'm reading and stuff in bed, and
in the shower, at work, while I'm driving. Yeah.
I want you to take that on a plane with you when you come for PAX East or E3 next time.
I'm doing it. I'm doing it.
Because there's a little neck pillow. It's his little
I'm genuinely tempted to buy another one just for traveling. Like one I could take out the house, take with me. Yeah, have one in the car in case I need to sleep over in the car somewhere. I don't know. Be great.
I'm all excited about a game that's coming out 10 years later and Graham's talking about pillows. We've got a priority.
But yeah, that's all the great
What's
stuff.
Even better, Graham, is you take that with you, but then you also bring like your portable like Genesis or something like that, and you can actually plug it in and use your little pillow on the plane, and then it can also just double as your little neck pillow. So super functional. I love it.
Perfect. That's brilliant. And that's my week basically. Yeah. So, should we go into Scotty Mo's Mail Sack of Wonder now, or do we need a break? What are we thinking?
I'm okay to keep going if you guys want to.
Let's keep going. Let's keep the show rolling. So, we are going with Scotty Mo's Mail Sack of Wonder.
Here it is, where you ask us stuff and we answer it. Hooray! Shut up.
Now we're back, Scotty. Now you're ready.
I wasn't before, and so this is nope, and it's time for the mail sack. No feedback for him. Fuck him. Twitter, nothing on there, but in the Discord, we got from Mr. Haru asked, "What was the recent case where you tried to get into something the gaming community swore was an A+ game, but you could not for the life of you couldn't like? For me, it was Celeste." So he's saying something. I feel like this is Graham's life story, but there was an A+ or game that the world just exploded with love for, but you just did not. Or what happened?
Okay, I know.
You remembered is what happened. That's
remembering. Recording and start recording again or something. I was scared.
No. I just thought of one. I've got many games for this. This is my topic. I feel like this could be my topic of the year.
Graham's been waiting for
everything I own
this question for like 6 years, and he's so excited for it.
Yeah.
The one that just jumped to my head as I turned to look at my shelf and realised I've got something right next to my head, basically, is Red Dead Redemption 2. To be honest, I didn't even enjoy the first one a huge amount. I thought it is okay, but the Red Dead Redemption 1 came into fruition for me when they released the Undead Nightmare expansion and turned it into like a zombie game. because that suddenly just made it so much more fun. The missions were way more fun. And Red Dead Redemption 2, I like the idea of Red Dead Redemption. I love cowboys and I love open world games. But yeah, I just find it boring. I just find them so boring. Like the missions aren't fun. Like I don't know what it's about them. I've got a friend who loves this game, and she was telling me about it. She's like, "You got to get it. So I got it on the Xbox One. I've got it on my shelf. I'll put it over here. Here we go. I got the special edition on Xbox One, and I just did not enjoy it. I played several hours. I maybe played 10 hours, and I probably haven't even barely touched it. And I'm just like, And she's saying about all these like special things she's unlocked and stuff. She's getting really excited about it. I'm like, you should come over and like we should play some games one day. And she did. We're playing like games like Halo and Gears of War. And then she's like, oh, have you got Red Dead Redemption 2 yet? I was like, yeah, here you go. And she like basically loaded up the game and started playing on it. I just watched her play it for like 3 hours, and I found it more entertaining me watching her play it than me playing it, basically. So she unlocked loads of stuff for me. I didn't even touch it, basically.
Nice.
Yeah, so that's basically what happened.
To your defense, a lot of people have complained about how long-winded parts are that you can't skip. Like, you're going to have to, you skinned 30 animals before? Here's how you do it again still. You're going to have to do the whole damn thing, like stuff like that.
God.
That's fine. I never cared about GTA 5 myself. I was just thinking of Rockstar stuff, but that game has been on 3 consoles now, so.
GTA 5 is another one, actually. That fucking game. Sorry. Like, oh my god, yeah, I like the early GTA games, like GTA 1, even GTA 2 I didn't mind, even though that wasn't the best.
The top
GTA 3 was really good. Vice City is amazing. Love San Andreas. Even like the Vice City stories. GTA 4 was like, and then GTA 5 came out. I'm like, I don't like any of the main characters in this game. I think the world looks amazing. What they've done and what they've created is beautiful. I don't think any of the missions are that fun. I don't like any of the characters. This is not the game for me, basically. And driving the cars is no fun anymore. I used to like getting the cars and souping them up, modding them and stuff. You know, like in San Andreas, you could do all this cool stuff to it. Sorry, okay. I'm taking over. You guys go. Is there any AAA games that you guys have played that you're like, I can't get into this?
I was literally going to say GTA 4, but
I'll go into it. Talk more about that.
I mean, you said the same. I mean, I think you nailed it. So
fair enough.
That's all I have.
Sorry.
My gut reaction is Doom Eternal, and this is going to surprise no one, because I complained about the game so much on social media as I was playing it. I loved Doom 2016. It was such a surprise. That was kind of another remake or something almost along the lines of Cobra Kai, like, okay, yeah, of course Doom. I mean, Doom is either going to be like, you guys are remaking Doom, or it was supposed to be known as Doom 4, or it was at one point, or whatever. Shut up, Corey. He says, oh man, here we go. I was complaining to him the most about it. So Doom 2016 has kind of an arcadey feel. It felt like almost an homage to the original Dooms, and it was just fun nonstop. Go, crazy power-ups, crazy guns, like these just, it engulfed you in these different areas. I forget what they're called, where you get trapped inside a room with a bunch of other monsters a couple of times throughout the game. The plot was interesting, the main antagonist was interesting. Doom Eternal kind of threw all that aside and instead Slayer Arenas, that's what it is, thank you, Corey. Doom Eternal... I was ready for the next, like, I want more of that. Like, they even in Doom 2016 even released an arcade mode where you go through the levels just to beat the top score or get your score higher and stuff. What up, Red Jaguar? So Doom Eternal, that was when the pandemic hit. It came out the same day as Animal Crossing New Horizons. And so that was when the pandemic hit, and didn't really know if we could even go into stores safely and stuff. So I bought it digitally and downloaded it onto my PS4, full $60 and whatever. I had never done that before. I was very much against doing that for full games. Like I was still at that point. I was still weary on like spending $20 for a full game digital download. But that's old man Scotty talking. So I got Doom Eternal and I started playing in it. It felt kind of the same, but then I was getting to parts where it was like just too hard. Like the difficulty ramped up immediately and never let down. It was just difficult upon difficult, and like for me, not to the point of there are games that are challenging and still fun. Like an example of that for myself would be Hotline Miami. Like that game is so frenetic. That's kind of speaking of the early GTA games. It's a top-down view where you're pretty much a hitman for whatever reason. You're not even sure. I'm still not even sure after finishing the first and most of the second game. But that game's like go, frenetic, pretty fast, kind of arcadey. But it gets harder, but you learn and you adapt and you feel like you get better as a player as you're playing the game. I did not feel like that with Doom Eternal. I felt like I had never played a video game in my life with most of Doom Eternal. And Corey brought it up that it's Dead Souls, it's Demon Soul, not Dead Souls, it's Demon Souls, it's Dark Souls. Like it's that kind of like kicks your ass, doesn't tell you why, doesn't tell you how to do better at these parts, kind of just throws stuff at you, and it gets harder. Not for me, it wasn't challenging. It was just not fun suddenly. But I was like, I can't return this. I paid $60 for this fucking thing. I'm gonna fucking finish it, even though I hate it. And I think my hype level was a little bit too high because I loved Doom 2016 so much. That was my game of the year that year. And I don't really play too many shooters, new ones, so there was that factor as well. There were platforming elements to it that just like, they break up the monotony, but at the same time, I was just like, this is dumb. Like, I'm dying on these parts, and I don't even understand why. And the biggest crux of it is I was playing it on a controller for the console. It was definitely made for keyboard and mouse. So I felt like I was being punished because I didn't want to use a keyboard and mouse, which I think you can do on the PS4 version, but it's definitely made for that with how many, like, you're going to use every button on the fucking controller when you're going into these Slayer arenas. And I was doing stuff over and over and over, and I was just like, I have to stop playing this game because it is actively stressing me out to play this. So, and like people have seen me rage plenty of times playing games, but this was like, how do I return this game? I don't want to even finish this. I hate, like, I'm only starting up this game and playing it to finish it to warrant my purchase at this point. I'm not even having fun. And Avalee, oh, what's up? Avalee says in the chat, Doom Eternal suffered from the devs forcing you to play it their way. Corey says there, yeah, I enjoyed the punishment in Soulsborne games, so I enjoyed Doom Eternal. I hate that. I do not ever want to play any Dead Souls or Demon Souls because I want to have fun with games and relax with them. I don't want to play a game that is challenging and difficult continually because I'm trying to relax with a game.
Have you not played any of the Demon or Dark Souls games or anything?
No. They don't hold any attraction on me, but also I'm not into medieval stuff, so the first thing that turned me off of them was the aesthetic.
Okay, so you probably wouldn't like it then, but I find the difficulty that, yes, they're both hard, Doom Eternal and Dark Souls and stuff, but I find that difficulty feels very different between the two games, because I also didn't really enjoy Doom Eternal that much. I played it a bit and was just like, this is... I'm glad you said you felt like you never played a game before, because I was playing this like, have I just forgotten how to play first-person shooters? Like, what is going on?
For Doom Eternal.
Yeah, for Doom Eternal. But for Dark Souls, Dark Souls is super tough, but it's kind of like when you die, you understand why you've died, and it's not so frenetic most of the time. There's bits where it gets a bit frantic, but you kind of understand why you've died, and it's almost like the challenge, like, oh, this is how I think I know how to beat this guy, and then you sort of come back and you try and like take them down and stuff, and the way you explore the world and stuff, I think is a lot more entertaining, and basically you can find different routes. If you think, oh, I keep dying on this guy, maybe I'll go this way and try and find another route to unlock something or unlock the next path or something. Right. So, yeah, and Doom Eternal, I was just like, I'm dead. Okay, I'll go back in. Yeah, like dead. Like, oh, am I just missing something here? There's no other way to go around this. It's like a very linear game. Yeah, I'm with you on Doom Eternal. I was just like, wow. Yeah. It was just like getting hit in the face constantly.
Yeah, and a lot of it is like you don't have the things stuff that you need, like a quick turnaround, like you need like auto aim almost or something else that like lends to it. And then the most challenging thing in that game, even outside of the bosses, is the Marauder, which is an enemy that throws dogs at you. He's this kind of a Dark Knight, not Batman, but he's in armor. He's got a big axe, I think it is. It's been a while, but he would throw things at you and block every attack unless you could hit him when he's stunned, sort of, and then go in there real close. But he would also throw these dogs at you while other enemies are happening as well. So that was just, anytime that happened, I'm just like, fuck me, here we go. Let me run away for like 5 minutes before I actually talk to him, attack him. And then recently the DLC, or when DLC was announced, it came out at the end of the trailer. Now you can fight 2 Marauders at once. I'm like, oh, I'm fucking supered over this. I'm not even touching that. So it was very much like you had to play the game the way the devs wanted you to play the game. I didn't feel like it wasn't an homage to the old Doom games, and it was more the Souls and kick the shit out of you, and that's how you learn. I teach you by kicking your ass kind of thing, and which works for some games, but I felt like it was a bait and switch, to be quite honest, because I was so happy with Doom 2016 that when I played Doom Eternal, I was like, am I wrong for wanting this to be what I think it should be, or something like that? I don't know. So I've talked about Doom Eternal so much in the past. People can agree or disagree. I don't fucking care. It wasn't the game for me, and I was super disappointed with that. So
yeah, I can not completely understand that, especially as you say the previous game was like a success, and it's quite right to think, oh, it's going to be similar to that. This feels like there's going to be the sequel to that.
I think also just the lead up to Doom 2016, because they released a demo that was only its multiplayer and not that fun. But then I pre-ordered this thing anyway. I got the main one and I loved it. So I was like, oh, okay. That was just a bad first impression. I kept having that in the back of my head for Doom Eternal. Was like, oh, maybe I haven't gotten into the correct meat of this game yet. And then I think what really solidified, like, I'm not playing this game wrong, was when a cyber demon shows up and I killed him in one fucking hit because I used the thing that is essentially a railgun, but like just like it lobs his head off and his head like spins off, and I'm like, that was a cyber demon, wasn't it? Like, that should be one of the most challenging enemies. That's the challenging enemy known that the series is known for, and I just killed him in one hit. I don't know what I'm doing anymore in this game.
Yeah, I didn't get that far in the game, so yeah.
Oh yeah, Corey also points out there was a ton of hype around Resident Evil 6, but we all know how that turned out. Yeah, as a huge Resident Evil fan, that put me off the series for 2 solid years. So
I don't even know what happened with that. I gave up after at 5, basically.
Resident Evil 5 did really well commercially, and then 6 came out, and it tried to do it. It was Capcom trying to be Call of Duty with Resident Evil 6, and it didn't make sense. It spread itself too thin, like worse than Sonic Adventure did with different characters and stuff. Because there were 3 campaigns in that game, each starring 2 characters, and there's too much going on. Catching up on this chat here, Avali says, I share this sentiment. And Tornado says, pushes my glasses up. Actually, that's a tyrant, Scotty. I'm not even sure what he's referring to. Oh, you mean the cyber demon? He looked like a fucking cyber demon. God damn it. Hells was here. Welcome to the chat. CP77. Cyberpunk was definitely my biggest disappointment of the year and possibly the last 5 years.
That's okay. I think that's fair.
And if we want to read more responses to answering the question, which to go back there, it's what was a recent case where a game that was A+ with everybody else you couldn't get into or didn't like. Red Jaguar says he couldn't get into BioShock.
I really like BioShock 1, but 2 and Infinite I just couldn't get into for some reason. Even though Infinite I feel should be good. I don't know.
I liked Infinite. I really liked the first one. I read the book called Rapture, which was the prequel to the game. It's funny that I read a game based on a game that was based on I read a book that was based on a game. The game was based on a book. Yeah, Street Fighter the movie.
Yeah, I thought the original BioShock was really, really good, and there's a twist. There's a kind of like a semi-mini twist at the end, which I don't know. Can we say it? I don't know. It's a spoiler for anyone who hasn't played it, but yeah, BioShock 2 just felt like an expansion pack to me and didn't feel like a good enough sequel. But yeah.
Hell was here says people didn't like Infinite, but I loved it a lot. Story was very good in my opinion. Gameplay was okay. BioShock 1 was a narrative-driven first-person game. BioShock Infinite was a first-person shooter.
Yeah, I think maybe that's why I didn't get. I feel like I felt like the game was maybe something slightly different, and when I started playing it, I was like, I feel like I should enjoy this game. But yeah, I just wasn't for some reason. But that's cool. If you like it, that's awesome. Yeah, cool.
That's our stuff.
So that's it. That's it. There was some feedback in the Discord, but it's kind of all going to the chat around like something I brought up the other week, wasn't it? I just forgot what it was now. God.
I'm not sure.
I was about Zelda Breath of the Wild. There's a big chat about Zelda Breath of the Wild because I made a comment about how I don't think we're not going to get into it now, but I made a comment about how I don't think it's a good Zelda game. But using my choice words there carefully, not a good Zelda game, and that's got a lot of feedback in the chat. Some people agree with me, some people aren't. So if you want to get involved in that, good jump on the Megavision's Discord and go to podcast feedback. The chat's going on, the fight's heating up. I'm loving
Internet throwdown, Discord throwdown.
There's also a bit of banter about Sonic Lost World versus Galaxy. Also, I said I wasn't enjoying Galaxy with the re-release, and I recently played Lost World and was like, I'm enjoying this a lot more. So controversial, I know, but yeah, what the hell. Cool. So I guess that does it for Scotty Mo's Mail Sack of Wonder.
Yeah, I think that's good about do it.
Nice.
It's not going to come through.
So do you guys want to take a quick break, and or do you want to keep going? What do you want to do?
I can take a super quick trip to the loo.
Awesome.
Yeah, I just need some more water to
okay,
ran out.
We're going to have a very quick break, 1 or 2 minutes. We'll put up a waiting screen, but we'll be back very soon. So, yeah, stay tuned, everybody. We'll be right back. We're back. Here we are. Scotty rocking his guitar. Oh dear.
It's a ukulele, you heathen.
It's a guitar. It's a small guitar. Okay, yeah, I know it's a ukulele. That was my bad, actually. Apologies for that. So I've worked out a little gremlin as well while doing the show this week. I have to refresh the chat box because it disappears every time. So hopefully stuff will start coming through.
Yeah, let me check here.
Yeah, it's weird on the live screen. There we go. Stuff's coming through. Thank you, Scotty. Excellent. Yeah, and thanks for waiting, everybody. And I saw there's some good chat going on as well while we were away as well. So yeah, thanks.
Yeah, why don't we catch up with that since it's not there right now?
Sorry, what was that, Scotty?
Well, I said, why don't we catch up with that since it's not there right now?
Yeah, we should do. Scotty, do you want to read it out? You're better at this than I am.
Hells was here. Your name's not Hells. God damn it. Hell was here. Said, I'm currently playing Zelda Breath of the Wild. Not even sure if I like it or not. 20 hours in. Seems like an exploration game above everything else, with a few puzzles, I guess. But that sense of wonder is wearing off pretty fast, I think. Still going to try to finish it. Tornado says he loves our new layout. That is all Graham. Shouts to Graham.
Cheers, dude.
Oh, and Hells was here, says, gotta love game podcasts. We need more of these, and quality ones. I bumped into this one with the Scotty Mo pristine reviews. What? Are you talking about my unboxings? That's pretty cool.
People love that shit.
Years, but finally my unboxings brought somebody to something else that I do in my life.
Thanks for joining us, Hellowares. Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah. I'll be doing, I appreciate that because I've been doing those for a long time. Tried to make a job out of it. Didn't work, but I still do them as a release. So I'm glad you're digging them. And then the last thing about podcasts is, Corey said we come out weekly. Thank you. And Hells was here said there's way too many podcasts with a marketing agenda. You really can't listen to stuff by IGN or big name ones. They're following a very tight script. Don't stray too far from it most of the time. That's kind of what we try to not do, essentially. And that's, again, all up to Graham with the different topics, such as the one coming up and a game we're going to play, and you can play along at home. Oh, sorry.
Nice. I love it. I love self-promotion there, Scotty. I like that. Awesome. So let's crack on with the show, and we'll keep reading stuff out from the comments and stuff as we go along. But we're moving on to our other section, which we do every week, which is our picks of the week.
Does it pick us up when it's playing?
It does not, and now we're back already. So there we go.
So, is Tom from MySpace on there?
Why is Tom from MySpace not on everything? That's the real question we should be asking the world. But yeah. It's every week we talk about our picks of the week, which can be a game, a movie, a TV show, a board game, a book. It doesn't really matter as long as it's in the world of entertainment. It's something we've been enjoying. We want to talk to you guys about it. It may not be the greatest thing in the world, but we've all had some fun with it, and we think other people might enjoy it, especially in this crazy lockdown COVID world. So yeah, let's survive this pandemic together, people. So let's kick it off with. I'm actually going to kick it off with Chris, even though Scotty's in the outline, but I feel Chris could go first this time.
Okay. All right. So I was going to pick Yakuza Like a Dragon because I've been so excited about it. But I decided to go somewhat different. But I did tell Graham that you owe me like some sort of video chat later in the week because I need to talk to you more about.
Maybe we could do a special podcast and get Anti-Chris on as well because he loves that game so much. Yeah. Yeah,
definitely.
I will be right back. I apologize.
That's right. I watched this mini documentary this week that I thought was really awesome. It's it's on YouTube. We'll drop a link in here in a little bit, but it's by this channel called Hats Off Entertainment. I actually found out about them from Sketchcraft because he dropped a link in our chat this week that for an Uncle Buck. So basically what this channel does is they do like mini documentaries on actors, on movies and things like that, where they take kind of like a behind the scenes approach, or they'll look at like all the deleted scenes of a movie and shows like what this movie could have been and things like that. It's really fantastic. It takes deep dives into lots of movies that I loved, but not a lot of people talk about. The one that I want to talk about today, though, is that he also did a whole episode on Jim Varney, who is the original actor who does Ernest. Ernest P. Worrell is his most famous character he did, but he's he acted in many different movies. But I've never watched a documentary on Jim Varney before, and I absolutely love him as an actor. I grew up watching Ernest. I love all of his stuff. And I learned a lot about this. It's really short. It's only 17 minutes long. Like I said, it's on YouTube, so it's free to watch. But it goes into Ernest like shows early on. I didn't realize that he was a stand-up comedian living in LA in I think the late 60s, I believe, maybe early 70s, and then he moved back home because he thought he ended up becoming like a failed actor. He didn't get it. He got some commercial gigs. Things like that, but he wasn't able to kind of latch on like he had hoped to, so he ended up moving back home, started getting a regular job again, and then he got a phone call from this like producer or manager, and they said that hey, they had an idea for him to play this character for a commercial, and he accepted it because he was excited to start doing some acting again. It ended up being the Ernest character who he had a big role in, finishing it and, kind of bringing that character to life, obviously. But it's interesting because it wasn't actually seemingly like his creation. It was this company, I forget his name. He went on to work with him in all of the Ernest stuff. This guy who directed and kind of like produced a lot of the Ernest movies. But then, so he started making these commercials. And at the time, commercials back in the day, you didn't have like nationally syndicated networks and things like that we do today. Like TV stuff was all very regional. At least here in the United States it was. So you'd have like the stuff Scotty would see, like his channels, a lot of his shows. When I was a kid, it would be all different because we had different regions. So a lot of our commercials, all that stuff would be all different. So the cool thing about it is Ernest could like kind of travel around the United States taking this character and creating commercial spots for all these different products. So he sold stuff for he did candy bars, like used car dealerships, anything you could think of. He was making commercials for it, which is pretty crazy. And I think what ended up happening is somehow a Disney exec saw him, and the way it was told, I think it was like some sort of event at a mall or some sort of Disney thing. Mickey Mouse was there as a guest, and then Ernest came out as a guest. But one of the executives at Disney happened to be there. When Ernest came out, he got a much bigger applause and reception than Mickey Mouse did. So that's where the Disney exec was like, "There's something about this guy." They went back and watched it all. They decided to greenlight like a movie. Ernest Goes to Camp. It was the first Ernest movie. And that was the first one I saw. I fell in love with them. But around that same time, too, I think it was the same year they released the Ernest TV show. And I think it only lasted one season. But Disney went on to produce, I think, 3 more, maybe or 2 more Ernest movies. And then a theatrically released. And then after that, they walked away. And the next one, Ernest Rides Again, which I didn't know about and I've never seen it. It was the first independently produced or backed Ernest movie outside of Disney. So I think Ernest Scared Stupid might have been the last Disney backed Ernest movie. It went on to become independent after that, and eventually they ended up becoming like direct to like VHS and direct to video releases after that. But they were so cheap to produce because they basically just shot like on a location. And that's kind of what they did. That was a setup. It was if you kind of look at like the Ernest formula, it's a pretty simple formula for what he does. It's just you kind of follow him around. He does some really, some stunts and stuff. But so it's not super expensive movies to make. And so they could make these like silly Ernest Goes to the Army, stuff like that. And they could do it on a cheap budget, do it on direct to video, and it made a lot of money. But unfortunately, he ended up, I guess he was a long-time smoker. He ended up getting, I think, lung cancer, I believe it was. And he ended up, I think, passing away. I believe it was in the late 90s it was. But he was, much younger, than, I think he had a lot more to give, is what I was going to say. But what's really neat about this video, I definitely suggest you guys check it out if you're an Ernest fan. But what I loved about, I started looking in the comments. I'll say this. Everyone knows YouTube comments are like the pit of like the fucking dungeon of the internet. They're terrible, right? A lot of these comments are awesome on this video because it's having all these people sharing like their personal stories of like of as a kid of watching Jim Varney and all these things. It's really neat. But what's cool is his family, Jim Varney's family, is also coming on in the comments and like talking about how great this documentary was, how important it was to their family, including Jim Varney's niece or granddaughter who was with him for the year that he was sick and spent a lot of time with him, and she had some really cool stuff to say. So I just loved it, man. It's, I think, a really powerful story. Jim Varney, Ernest, was important in my life, and I've been getting my kids to watch a lot of those. So I definitely, like I said, if you're into Ernest at all, the documentary, like I said, it's called Jim Varney, the Original Viral Star. It's written and completely done by Joe Ramone, and he's with Hats Off Entertainment, like I said. But I'll drop a link in there too.
Yeah, awesome.
Check that out. My dad still will randomly say, "You know what I mean, Burn?"
Yeah, I love it, man.
So in the UK, the Ernest movie, I know of the Ernest movies, but I don't think I've ever actually seen one because they weren't really a big thing over here. But I do know who he is, but I've never seen any of his stuff, so I'm actually quite interested in this. What you just described sounds really interesting.
His character, okay, it's like he's very well-meaning. He's very kind, but he just is very clumsy. He's kind of stumbles over his own feet all the time, and just those type of things. But it's very kids friendly. It's hilarious. He's a very good character actor. He jumps into different suits, like different roles a lot. He'll be like this creepy old lady that has like this really funny voice and stuff. So he plays different stuff, and you see other actors later on, like Eddie Murphy started doing that. Martin Lawrence started doing that. Other actors started jumping into different roles. But Jim Varney was doing that back in the 80s, man.
Yeah, I'm actually on his Wikipedia page right now, and Ernest Saves Christmas, for example, he did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. He did 7 characters in that movie, apparently.
What's cool about the documentary, it was really neat, and it made me smile as a fan, is that it talked about he was very concerned early in his career of being typecasted as Ernest. I mean, I could imagine he basically did get typecast. He did do some other roles and some serious roles too that the documentary points out. But I think what was really cool is that he actually did be able to become a character actor through these movies, because he, like you said, he played 8 different characters in Ernest Saves Christmas, and all of them are very wildly different. He'll play like a sleazeball, like where he's a bad guy, then he'll play a grandma, then he'll do this. So he became this awesome character actor while still being typecasted and having an amazing career. I love it. And it was a very, kind of a short career once he became once he got into making feature movies. It wasn't that long of a career, really, if you look at it.
So apparently he died in 2000. And I didn't realize this. Yeah, he played Slinky the dog in the first 2 Toy Story movies.
Yep, voice of Slinky.
The last release was in 2001, which was Atlantis: The Lost Empire, where he did a voice in that. So it's posthumous release, basically. But yeah, man, I'm going to look at this. I'm going to check out this documentary, even though what you've just been talking about has probably gone on as long as the documentary, but I will still watch the documentary. Oh, that's cool. Awesome. Anything else to add? Oh, actually, just checking out the chat, actually. Avu Lee says, just seeing his smiling face warms me. That's really nice. Yeah.
That's the thing, is that he's such a big part of so many people's childhoods that it is that kind of, you have that familiar comfort when you see him. It's just like he brings you back to those innocent times, and he's an awesome character, man. So I'm sure you guys have characters like that in the UK that you guys grew up watching.
No. We hate all our characters over here. So.
It's only Dr. Hill, who basically should be prime minister at this point, but
Oh, I wish. Oh dear. Anyway, let's not get into that. But yeah, cool. I'm next with my picks, and so as I said, oh, bless you, Scotty. Bless you. Scotty's allergic to my pick, it seems, but I'm going to persevere anyway. So, as I mentioned or teased earlier, my pick is a Ubisoft game, even though Scotty was saying Ubisoft games aren't that good anymore earlier. This is one game I may have to disagree with you on, even though I do know what you were saying earlier. This is Immortals Fenyx Rising. I've just realized my camera is reversed. I forgot to switch it around. Apologies, everybody.
Maybe?
It's fine on our Discord, but on the actual show, it's not. I might be able to actually... Maybe I can do this live. Let's see if I can do this live.
Real quick. I can tell you why I had a crisis briefly.
Okay, I've just got it, but if you want to tell the crisis, go for it.
I ran away because Rachel, my girlfriend, texted me in all caps saying she found a spider in a very inconvenient spot. And when I went downstairs, she was looking at the front door. Apparently, there was a spider in the hole of the door, so she didn't see it till she was using the peephole. And there's only glass on the outside, so that spider could have easily just jumped at her face, but it didn't. So she sprayed a bunch of raid killer into the hole, and it's super dead, drowning.
Yeah, I'd have burnt that whole front door down, but okay.
Well, it's cold out, so we won't do that yet.
Nice. Well, good. I'm glad Rachel's safe. I'm sorry for the spider, to be honest, because love all animals, but still at the same time, spiders be scared. Yeah. So the pick of the week is Immortals Fenyx Rising, and anyone who's actually watches the show a lot or listens to the show, I actually mentioned this on our last episode. I didn't mention the game specifically, but I mentioned how there are some certain games on the digital stores out there where I don't know what to pick because they've got 5 different versions. They've got the standard version, they've got the special edition, they've got the limited edition, they've got the ultimate super duper version that you should definitely get edition. And this is one of those games I saw there was a sale on, and the standard version was really cheap. It was sort of £30, which for Xbox One games over here, that's a decent price basically. But then they had the limited version, which was £60, and then had the special ultimate version for £85. I've never really bought a game for £85 unless it came with lots of free stuff. And even then, I don't really go for it. So I was like, I don't really want to get that, but it came with all the expansion packs and stuff like that. But yeah, I sort of held off buying it on there because there were too many versions. I didn't know if I wanted to miss out on stuff. In the end, I took Scotty and Antitled Chris's advice on the last show and just went and got like the basic version. Although I actually didn't get the basic version. I found it online physically with the limited edition version for cheaper than the digital store version, which was on sale for the standard version, if that makes sense. So digital games are really expensive for some weird reason. I don't get it. So that's another side topic. Sorry. Yep. But I am loving this game. And even though I've sort of mentioned how I think Zelda Breath of the Wild is not a good Zelda game, I do appreciate what it's trying to do and stuff. And this is the kind of game I think people who want to play Breath of the Wild 2 should check out because it's very similar style game. So it's a big open world game. It's like an adventure game, like third person, using swords and shields and bits of magic and stuff. You are playing a mortal, but you're actually saving Greek gods. So it's kind of it's all based on Greek god mythology and Greek mythology and stuff. So if you don't know anything about Greek mythology at all, you still have fun, but it's actually quite fun knowing some of the Greek mythology because it's actually got a very good like tongue-in-cheek humor take on it. So the main story is this god, actually I think it might be a titan, this guy called Typhon, this big beast basically was captured by Zeus and like put in like a massive pit. I think it's like a fiery pit, like in a volcano basically, like as a prison, basically put into jail by Zeus. And he's now finally escaped. He's basically taken down a load of gods and stolen their essences and their powers. So all the gods are weakened. He's taken lots of Zeus's powers. Zeus is still alive, but he's like weakened. And basically most of the mortals on the world are turned to stone, except a handful of people. And you are one of the people. You play a character called Fenyx, and you can play as a male or a female. I'm actually playing as a female version because I thought she's like basically on the front cover. It's a female character. And I thought I'm going to play as the female character because I think that's pretty cool. And it's the story though is told from the perspective of Prometheus. If you do, sorry, this is probably going to have to talk about Greek mythology a little bit. Basically, Prometheus is a god who stole fire and gave it to humans in Greek mythology, and Zeus punished him by putting him on the top of a mountain. I can't remember which mountain it was now. I've actually got it written, Mount Olympus. I believe he put him on top of Mount Olympus, chained him up there, and like birds eat his liver or something in the Greek mythology. But so yeah, it's basically told from Prometheus's perspective. He's telling Zeus the story of how a mortal will save all the gods. And it's kind of done in a way that it's kind of in the past tense, but you're playing the game live, if that makes sense. But it's really funny because Zeus and Prometheus do not get along. Zeus also doesn't really like mortals that much. So any time that like you do something really good, Prometheus goes and like you did something, you did this thing which is really amazing for a mortal to do. And Zeus is like, yeah, that doesn't really count, sort of thing.
Does he use fire to help save the day?
No.
Because then the other dude could be like, see, if I didn't give them fire, they wouldn't have been able to save us. So then, like, I think you should
maybe that'll be a twist at the end. I don't know. I haven't got that far. But Tornado Jones.
Like, did they finish that story like 4,000 years ago?
Tornado Jones just mentioned, yeah, his liver regrows every day and the birds eat it. So yeah, thanks, Tornado Jones. But the story is it's kind of like Breath of the Wild in that it's kind of a big exploration game. You can basically go out and kind of go in any direction you want and solve missions in almost any order that you want to. And it's kind of got these like trial style dungeons, but they're really good and really fun. The gameplay is brilliant, and you can climb virtually any surface just like in Breath of the Wild. But I find it more entertaining than Breath of the Wild because of the story elements to it. So there are cutscenes in it. There's actually voice acting as like in a lot of the cutscenes and stuff, and so it feels a bit more story driven than Breath of the Wild. I think the map isn't quite as big as Breath of the Wild, but it is bloody big, and the powers and the combat is really good in it. So it's a game that I'm really digging right now. So yeah, like Breath of the Wild, I found very open and dead and sparse. Like it's, someone actually mentioned in the chat actually earlier. Who was it? Was it? I've forgotten. Oh yeah. Hell was here. yeah, you mentioned how you found that Breath of the Wild is like an exploration game with a few puzzles, but the sense of wonder starts to wear off pretty fast. I do agree with it. That's my problem with Breath of the Wild as well. I found like the exploration at the start was amazing. It's like, oh my god, look at this amazing open world. I'm going to go and venture over here. And like just discovering new areas was kind of the cool bit of it. But the actual game and the story was just like, like I felt like after a little while, after doing a few of the shrine mini dungeon things, I was kind of bored of that. In Immortals, I've been playing it probably longer than I played to complete Breath of the Wild, and I'm still enjoying it, basically. Like, I'm finding a lot more stuff. I'm just enjoying the world. It's a very beautiful world, very lovingly created. And as I say, like, the story's fun. They do have small dungeony, shriny type areas you go into, but I'm finding they're more entertaining as well. Just like the stuff you do in them, they're so different, and each one is really different. And yeah, loving it. So there we go.
So what you're telling me is Ubisoft does what Nintendo don't.
Yes, my friend.
This a game? Did this release towards the end of the year?
Yeah, it came out in 2020 for sure. It's quite late in 2020, I believe. Yeah.
Okay. Because it seems like I'm just now seeing a lot of stuff about it. I think it ended up going on to get a lot of Game of the Year and other award, at least nominations, I seem to remember. So it seems like a lot of people are talking about this game in a good way, like right around now. So I want to see what all the fuss is about.
Tornado Jones just said, cancel this podcast. Sorry, dude. Are you just, is it because I like it more than Breath of the Wild, or are you just...
I said.
Oh dear. If you love Breath of the Wild, that's cool. I feel like this is a game that if people are craving Breath of the Wild 2 and still waiting for it, this is a game I reckon you could get into and really enjoy. Or if you found Breath of the Wild a little bit lacking in areas, maybe give this one a try. 'Cause if you like the idea of Breath of the Wild, but something was missing, try this game. If you really hate open world games and exploration games, don't get this game, because it basically is more of that, just a bit more story, I'd say. Oh, Scotty's joke. He says it's Scotty's joke to cancel this podcast. No, that was a great joke, my friend. There's more of that. More of that terrible jokes. Oh dear. But yeah, Chris, as you say, it's been picking up a lot of awards and stuff. There was one thing that actually irked me about some reviews I read of it, because I wasn't sure if I was going to get it. I was like, oh, is this game actually going to be good? And some of the reviews were like, some of the dungeons and puzzles and stuff are too easy. But some of them, I'd say, are more advanced or slightly more difficult than Breath of the Wild puzzles, because they weren't hard at all, the Breath of the Wild puzzles, really. So I'm like, how can you really rate the Breath of the Wild puzzles but not rate these ones? I don't know. That's just one little thing.
This game used to be known as Gods and Monsters. That was its original name.
Okay.
Yeah, but I can see why they changed it, because I think that's the title of so many different things already.
Yeah.
So
cool. So that's me.
This week, actually. No, just kidding. That's all you got for
that's me. That's me for my pick of the week. Did you guys have any questions or further comments or anything? Do you really think I'm an idiot for loving this more than Breath of the Wild?
Graham, I'm used to your crazy takes at this point. I've been doing podcasts with you for probably close to 15 years, at least, in some, and you've always done shit like this. Like he's always, this isn't new. He's been saying stuff like this for years. And so I'm just used to it. It's just the next thing. And
fair enough.
I just accept you for your bad taste in games, and I love you for it.
Although you should definitely try this game. Oh, there's actually one other thing I should do. Sorry, I'm going to mention it. The game, basically, they have these daily and weekly challenges that appear, and basically they're extra missions and stuff to keep the game, I guess, going. Like if you're kind of getting bored of just exploring the stuff, you can go and get these weekly challenges which give you extra kind of this weird in-game currency that you basically, so it says go and kill Medusa, for example, or go and find this thing, and you go out and explore the world and find them or kill like certain beasts and stuff, but you kind of have to find them and do the tracking a bit yourself. But then you get in-game currency, and then you can unlock special items within the game that you couldn't get normally. And I think that's a really cool idea, because it kind of adds a bit more longevity to the game in a way that other games just don't really do. So it's not like you have to buy an expansion to do these extra missions. They're just there in the game, basically. And they update and change regularly. So some of them are timed based. So like after a couple of days, they'll just remove it. and you have to do it within that certain time, like literally physical time, like 2 days or whatever. But yeah, and I think that's a really neat idea. So that's one thing I'm really chatting about. And also for anybody, it's actually available on basically every console. It's on Xbox One and Series X, PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, PC, and Switch as well. So yeah, so for Nintendo fans, it's out there for you to play. Cool.
So
Scotty,
people that play the wrong game.
Scotty, what is your pick of the week?
We watched it last night. I've seen it a bunch of times. Sort of reintroduced it to Rachel. The movie Stranger Than Fiction is going to be my pick of this week because it's one of my favorite movies. It stars Will Ferrell, Maggie Gyllenhaal, Dustin Hoffman, Queen Latifah, Emma Thompson. But it is it's Will Ferrell before he was Ron Burgundy 24/7, and you will forget that it's Will Ferrell pretty quickly into the movie because of how good of a job he does. It's a drama. It's Netflix. It's on Netflix right now in the U.S. Netflix called it a dark comedy. I guess I don't really know what that means anymore. But I would just call it a straight up drama with comedy sprinkled throughout. But I won't say too much about it because I want people to just go into it and to enjoy it. But it is legit one of my favorite movies, like top 5 probably. I was introduced to it when a rental store in a town near where I went to college was going out of business and just selling like Blu-rays for $1 and stuff. And I just picked it up because I'd never heard of it. It was out in 2006. Not sure how well it did budget-wise. It doesn't really matter for the sake of this segment, though. But what it is, the story is Will Ferrell plays an IRS auditor who realizes he is the star of a novel that is being written because he starts to hear it in his head. He starts to hear the narrator, and it goes on from there. Hence the name Stranger Than Fiction, because it's maybe he's in a a work of fiction, maybe not. It's really good. It's a feel-good movie. It's a fun movie. It's it's just good. I guess it's dark comedy. I don't know what that means. I know Graham's seen it. We have a poster of it in our living room. I probably should have grabbed the Blu-ray when I ran away to show people, but it's a good movie. It was I think before Elf. I don't know. It was early into his cinematic career. Will Ferrell's anyway. Stranger Than Fiction.
It's and just to let you know, box office apparently 30 million budget, made about 53.7 million. So it was a success technically. Yeah.
Okay.
I will second your love for this movie, in my love actually, because I do think it's a genuinely good movie, and it's not a typical Will Ferrell movie, as you say. Not at all. To the point, just to give an example, Kate really doesn't like Will Ferrell. My mum hates Will Ferrell. They've both seen it and they both love this movie. So that kind of hopefully might tell people about it. And I think Will Ferrell fans will still appreciate it. Just going there knowing it's not going to be wacky Will Ferrell, because I love Will Ferrell. I like Ron Burgundy and stuff, but I also love this movie as well. And it's very unique. I feel like it's a unique movie. One of those. It feels a bit like an indie movie in a way, but yeah. Really good, really fun. Chris, have you seen it at all?
No, I haven't seen it.
Well, damn you!
I don't.
You should definitely check it out.
I have anything to say about it. But yeah, no, it's always weird to. It's good to see actors like before they kind of either made it big and kind of settled into kind of what their career is. And I like doing that, especially like Jim Carrey, for instance. If going back to some of his older stuff, like Once Bitten, things like that, is always fun to do. To see him before you see him like do the same kind of gestures and the same physical comedy that you see in stuff like in Ace Ventura, and then he just goes on and uses the same kind of stuff the rest of his career. And so I like the same thing with Will Ferrell. I like to see them in radically different roles, though. Like I love to see them take on like much different type of characters. Case in point, John C. Reilly was in was it Gangs of New York before he made it big in like Talladega Nights. I think that is he's totally not at all the kind of John C. Reilly. He's scary. He's a like kind of a mean bad guy. Like he has this like billy club looking thing that he just beats people with. It was weird because when I remember seeing him in Talladega Nights, I was like, that's the guy from Gangs of New York. And why is he so funny? I had no idea that John C. Reilly was a comedic actor. especially seeing him in Kings of New York. So that was pretty impressive.
Well, the interesting thing about Stranger Than Fiction, it's a movie that was quite early in Will Ferrell's career, but Anchorman just came out just before it, actually. Yeah. So Elf came out before it. So did Old School. Anchorman came out before it, as did Bewitched. Let's forget about that movie. Oh, Night of the Roxbury, which is one of my favourite Will Ferrell movies, actually. I love that movie. But
That's the first movie.
Yeah.
All I have to say about that.
It's great. Love it. But yeah, so I guess he kind of had established himself as a bit of a wacky kind of character at this point. But yeah, then he did this, and it's just very different, but beautiful movie. Love it. Very unique, very different. Give it a try.
Yeah, it's up there with Lost in Translation for me, which is another movie that has a star in it that you forget existed before certain roles. Scarlett Johansson is in Lost in Translation, and she is not Black Widow at all.
Oh, yeah. I actually forgot she was in that.
Yep, she's the star of the movie.
Yeah, she is. It's been a while since I've seen that movie, but yeah, I just randomly forgot that she was even in it. Oh, wow. Yeah.
That's Stranger Than Fiction. Check it out. It's about 2 hours long. It's on Netflix now. I highly recommend it.
So Tornado Jones just mentioned in the chat that it's this is about Night of the Roxbury, one of Will Ferrell's movies I just mentioned. It's so odd sometimes to see an SNL skit turned into a feature-length movie. Yeah, so for those who don't know, that was actually a Saturday Night Live skit. It had Jim Carrey in it as well, I believe, the original skit. You guys...
Well, he was the host one week. And
okay. I've never really watched Saturday Night Live, I have to admit. I just know of it because I speak to Americans a lot. But we don't have it over here. It's not on our TV over here, so I've never actually seen an episode. But I heard that Jim Carrey was in the skit or something, but maybe, yeah.
Wayne's World was a SNL skit, but it turned into a decent movie, I felt.
Yeah.
There's been Blues Brothers. There's Coneheads. There were good movies based on SNL skits, but Night of the Roxbury is not one of them.
Oh, it's a great movie, friend. It's a great movie. do you even like the sound? You got to like the soundtrack, the 90s dance music.
I remember I turned it on once. I was like, I'll watch this another time because this is dumb as shit.
I'm going to agree with you here, Graham. I also like Night of the Roxbury.
Thank you. I think you have to be in the right mood or just know what you're going in for because it's silly.
Right. But expectations regardless. Gotcha.
Yeah. Okay. So okay. Cool. Yeah. Jim Carrey guest starred in the skit. Brilliant. Cool. So with that, let's move on from our picks of the week and go into our feature discussion. Yep, we're back again. Excellent. With our feature discussion, I now need to reset the chat box. But I'm going to have to work out if there's a better way to get this chat box going. I have to actually manually go in and change it, it seems. It's weird. I have to refresh the cache of the chat box for some reason. But yeah, there we go. So our feature discussion, we change it every week. So if you never watched the show, it's something we do something differently every week. And this week we are bringing back Graham's Guess the Game. So we've never done this live before, so this could be interesting. But essentially, each of us, so myself, Scotty, and Chris, we have chosen a game, but we have not told each other what it is. We then have to give out 10 facts about the game. We give out 5 hard facts and 5 easy facts. And sometimes we give out clues and stuff as well. And if no one has guessed the game at the end of those 10 facts, the guessee, the person who's got the game, gets a point. If someone else guesses the game before the end of the 10 facts, that person gets a point. We are continuing the points on from what we've previously done. Scotty actually has 3 points because he's a legend. Chris has 1 point. He's only done it once. I've done it twice, but still only have 1 point. And we have an All-Stars guests points, which also have 1 point. But we're also going to get the open up to the chat as well. So if you guys can guess it, we also give you guys a point as well, which is going to be rolling tally for every time we do this, basically. Not entirely sure how it's going to work, but in the live chat, but let's see what happens. And so, yeah.
And for the viewers at home. Hey, what up, Skyro? Whoever is the clue giver will be able to see the chat. The people guessing will not be looking at the chat because you guys can Google it, whatever. We don't get to Google anything unless there is a phone of friends. I believe that one of them is Googling, but
I think last time we did get down to a level where we were like, we have to Google this one, so we had like 10 seconds to Google something. But yeah, so
I'm Googling nothing this time.
Yeah. Nice. So who do we want to start with? Who should we go with to begin this? What do you think?
I'll start.
Okay, awesome. I'm going to get...
We didn't really explain everything with the 5 and 5, the 10.
Oh, explain maybe more rules explanation.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. I thought I did. So 5 hard and 5 easy clues? Was there something else that I had to explain?
I don't even remember you saying that. I'm sorry. I was looking and making sure I had everything ready to go.
I'll just re-emphasize. Yeah, so we're giving out 5 hard clues and 5 easy clues, basically, or facts. Rather than clues, facts about the games, which hopefully, if we're any good at guessing games, we'll do it. And just to be clear, last 2 times, both Chris and Scotty have done games which were not available in Europe at all, and I'd never even heard of them. So let's see what happens this week.
Why don't we have Chris go first?
Right, nice. So Chris can go first.
Feel like you'd want one of the veterans to go before you, Chris. What do you think?
I don't care. If you guys want to go first, go for it. Let's do it.
I'm happy for Chris to go first. I'm going to get the music going. Let's see if this works. This may not work.
Oh,
hold on.
Oh,
Let's
God.
see what happens.
All right. Bear with us, everyone. Pardon our dust. There is no way all this is going to work. I don't have any faith in the internet. Cha 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 cha.
We've got some nice music going in the background. Here we go.
Okay, great. Also, I'm going to be running a timer, so each time Chris gives us a clue, there'll be a 5-second timer. I think that's enough time. Or should we do 10 seconds? What do you guys think?
I think at least 10 seconds for sure, because you're going to want to think about it. Maybe even 15, but we'll see how it goes.
I have minimized the chat on my side. Graham, can you not see the chat right now?
Graham, you don't have any audio.
I muted my mic. Sorry, apologies. Yeah, mine is. I've pushed it to the side in my OBS channel, so it's hidden.
All right.
So, yeah. I am bringing up a little notepad document so I can actually type up clues and stuff as you guys are saying them. So this could be interesting.
Okay, tell me when you guys are ready. Okay, so are we starting with the easy facts or the hard facts?
Hard facts first. Otherwise, we'll just
hard
guess
facts. Okay. Okay. So it was released in Japan on December 20th, 1996.
Yep.
That gives you nothing.
Yeah, that.
Would you guys want where it's released in your region? Should we go do that too? Would that be easier?
I don't know. That was already 10 seconds. I'm just gonna say Panzer Dragoon.
No.
I'm gonna say Nights into Dreams.
No. Okay. The game's director was Yasuhiro Taguchi. I'm sorry. Yasuhiro Taguchi. Does that ring any bells to you guys?
I'm horrible with names, so not at all.
I know exactly who that is.
Clockwork Knight.
You went muted again, Graham, for a second.
Oh, not for me.
What did you say? What did you guess something?
No, Scotty did.
I said Clockwork Knight.
It's not Clockwork Knight.
Oh, is it Sega Rally?
It's not.
That was actually released in 1995, so I don't know why I said that. Damn it.
Okay, so I think this could be a hard one, but I think it could be easy too.
Okay.
So it could give it away. The developer is Camelot.
Oh!
Go for it, Graham.
Is it Shining Force 3?
It is not Shining Force 3.
Damn it.
Where you at, chat? No guessing here, but I want to see if the chat can get it.
Shining Force 2.
It is not Shining Force 2. I said no guessing. I meant no Googling, chat. I want the chat to see if they can get this before you guys. Okay, so no, you did not get it correct yet.
Number 4. I think.
Number 4. Okay, it was released in Europe and the United States in June of 1997. That was his actual month it released. So summer of 97. Think back. What were you guys doing?
Oh my god.
Summer of
I'm
97.
trying to remember what Camelot games were released.
I have my head only in Sega, but I have to get out of there because it might not be Sega. Dev, Camelot, it's 97.
Okay. Do you have a guess?
Sure, Resident Evil.
Okay, good.
Shining Wisdom.
It is wrong.
Oh, I'm going with the Shining games.
The last
That's
of
it.
the hard questions.
Okay.
I would give you the setting, where this game takes place.
Okay, let's do this.
Sure.
The Kingdom of Inric.
No help.
Or Inrich. I don't know how you might spell it. Inric, or pronounce Inric or Inrich.
I keep thinking it's one of the Shining. Is it Shining the Holy Ark?
You gotta. What's your final question?
Shining the Holy Ark.
Okay, and what did you say, Scotty?
I said that Kingdom of Enrich was no help. I will say that it is Phantasy Star 4.
Okay. It is Shining the Holy Ark, Graham.
Yes! I got one!
Yeah, you got one. This is a repro I got off this awesome dude, Cliff's Repair Corner or Store on Twitter. He makes great repros of Saturn and Sega CD stuff. I definitely suggest you check it out. Congrats, Graham. You got one.
Yes, thank you. I only know Camelot for making the Shining games. So it's 96, 97, that's got to be a Sega Saturn.
I'm going to go down the whole list of Shining games.
Yeah, basically. Yeah, and I was going to move on to Dragon Force and stuff like that. I don't know. So Skyrim the Dragon has never heard of this game. It's a great game, Shining the Holy Ark.
And Chad, you're allowed to say the game because then you'll get a point in this ongoing tournament of nonsense. Because Corey said there, I got it, but I Googled it, so I won't say it. Skyro was thinking DDR. Well, close.
Yeah. Do you want to quickly explain the game to Skyro? He's never heard of it, apparently. So, Chris, do you want to explain it?
You know what? I don't know that much about it. I know a little bit, but I've never played it myself. That's why I bought this one, because I don't own it. So I'm probably not the greatest person to even explain about it.
Okay. It's it's a RPG. I've actually, oh my god, my brain's I've just forgotten if it's the one that goes into the first person when you go in the dungeons or not. I played it years ago. I've actually forgotten how it plays. Oh god.
Does the back of it show that at all, Chris? Like a first person view?
It does go in first person, yes.
Okay, good. So yeah, it's I guess it's like a dungeon crawling style RPG where I remember you go around towns and villages it's all kind of semi first person, but you don't walk around in first person like an FPS or anything. It's and then thinking the towns and stuff, you just click left and the camera will pan to the left screen or whatever to show the shop or something. But in the dungeons you are moving in almost like a basic first person shooter style thing, but you don't have guns. It's a turn-based RPG basically.
So towns really setting is almost like a point and click setting in the towns, you're saying? Yeah,
kind of. Yeah, that's kind of what it's like. But it's a really fun game from what I remember. I played it years ago. I didn't finish it. I remember my memory card got wiped on my Sega Saturn. This is one of those weird things. I had loads of games saved, and just I had the physical memory card that goes in the back, and just one day turned it on, nothing, wasn't even working anymore. So I was just like, bastards. So yeah, It's really good, old school. These back with RPGs I used to really enjoy, these turn-based RPGs. I don't really enjoy them much anymore, but those were the days. Those were the days. So I guess shall I go next, Scotty? What do you think?
It's up to you. You're the kingdom of this castle.
Okay, I will go next. So here we go. I'm going to get the music playing again. A little bit of background music there for the quiz. So my first hard clue. The levels of this game are said to have been inspired by Tim Burton and MC Escher?
Marble Madness.
No.
Crushed.
Crushed. What, the PSP game?
Yes.
God damn it, Chris! I hate you. You've just done it. You've just done it. How did you get that?
That probably
I really thought that was going to be.
I thought of Marble Madness with the painting or with the MC Escher stuff, but
You're not going to believe this, though, how I got it, Grant, because...
How?
Okay, so while we were doing the podcast, I was on the Sega Nerds website, and I was going through some of our old podcasts, our podcast originals, because I was trying to think back, like, when did we actually start the podcast? Like, what year it was? Because I remember we were talking about the CAGcast. They've been going for over 15 years now. We started in 2007, but one of the early podcasts... because Crush was released that year in 2007, we talked about it, and so it was just right in my mind. And then when you said MC Escher, I was like, okay, I think that's what it is.
I literally hate you so much.
Sorry.
I genuinely thought these were going to be some hard clues that you guys weren't really going to get until like the very easy ones, like the very last easy one. So
can we hear some more of your clues?
So other clues are... the main purpose is you are collecting the protagonist's lost marbles.
I would have got that one.
And also puzzle, platform, adventure game where you can't attack. And my final hard clue was the studio behind it changed its name to a female's name just before the game's release.
That's so
the actual...
What was the
original studio was called Kuju Entertainment, and well, that's the main company behind it, but their little development studio was called Kuju Brighton. It's an English-based company in Brighton. They changed it to Zoe Mode was the name of the studio, and they gave it like they actually had a model who became like the face of the company, basically. So yeah, it's quite an interesting story I had back on Sega Nerds back in the day. And then
Are they still around?
I don't think so anymore. I think they might have gotten... They made like some of the iToy games and stuff, I remember, for PlayStation 2 and things like that. I'm not sure if they're still around. Then my easy clues were the main mechanic is similar to that of Super Paper Mario. Then released on the PSP in 2007. A 3DS remake was released in 2012, which I have on my shelf next to me, actually. I will just bring that up. The 3DS version is nowhere near as good as the PSP version, just to be clear. They changed all the graphics and animations and stuff. It's not as good. And and then the final clue was the main character is called Danny and suffers from insomnia. So I don't know if Scotty would have got any of that, but
I own the game. I would have eventually gotten it, I think, but I want to give a pro tip because sometimes your clues are a little too easy, Graham. The second one if instead of saying like find the protagonist's lost marbles, I think you could have just said something as general as you have to find marbles or something like that. So because I'm just making a suggestion.
I still think that would have been a hard clue for most people, but no, apparently not. God damn it. Okay, but
and then the chat had.
Sorry, what did the chat have?
Corey said Psychonauts, but then said "wow" in all caps because Chris got it so quick. Skyro said BioShock, but that his stream was also lagging. A likely excuse.
For anyone who hasn't played the game, essentially the whole point is Danny suffers from insomnia, and he goes to this professor who basically puts him into the machine, and you're basically in his head, and you're playing as Danny inside his own thoughts and stuff, and the reasons why he can't sleep and stuff. But the whole thing is it's a puzzle game, and you have to crush the world in different directions to get across like platforms and stuff like that. So if you see like the world from side on and there's a massive gap, if you change the view to the top down view, maybe there's a way to get across, and you crush the world so it becomes flat and you can run across it and stuff. It's a really cool mechanic, actually, and it's a really fun game, very good. The atmosphere around the PSP version is really kind of dark and somber, but brilliantly done. And then the 3DS version is very cartoony and very light.
Was it Crush 3D is what they called it?
Yeah, they called it Crush 3D on the 3DS. I bought this because I was like, oh my god, Crush on the 3DS, I want to play this game again. And I've got it. And I was just like, oh, this is not what I remember. It's basically the same game, but it's just not. It's missing something. I don't know.
I think they should have went more cartoony with it. I think if you're not gonna release that original the PSP version on the DS or the 3DS, because I get it, I understand. Like maybe you want to, maybe it didn't sell as well, and you think the concept is really good, but you want to give it a fresh coat of paint to maybe draw in a new audience, especially on the DS. So you make it cartoony to appeal to kids, but I just think the visual style is not good. Like kids aren't going to look at that. I don't think the art is very good. The art direction was not what it should have been. If they would have made it more cartoony and like more like a kids game, but still keep those cool elements of what make this game unique, they should have done it. And I think it could have found an audience. But as it stands now, it just wasn't a altogether very good game. I don't think.
Yeah, I think you're right on there. Or they could just put like Sonic the Hedgehog's Crush 3D, and that would probably sold a lot more. So,
yeah, just like the title of our last episode. But the 3DS version in America was a GameStop exclusive as well, so that fucked it over.
Wow, that's a bad. What?
I think it was
weird choices.
I hope I'm not speaking out of turn.
What if you named it? What if you called it Sonic Crush? Sonic's Crush. Sonic Crush. You said it really fast, and you can still get in on that.
Sonic Rush.
Sonic Crush.
Sonic Rush.
Sonic Rush.
Yeah.
But it's called Sonic Crush.
Right.
That's why I should be marketing for these people. We could have saved that whole franchise. The whole Zoe mode would have shut down if they would have came to me.
You could drink Crush orange soda in the game as your whatever.
You get it, Scotty.
They could have had music from Crush 40.
Yeah, that would have definitely helped.
Oh dear.
Exactly. Corey gets it. He says, all I'm imagining is a commercial of Sonic drinking an orange Crush.
I don't know what Orange Crush is, so... Whoops.
It's just an orange soda. That's really it.
Okay, cool. Awesome.
Yeah.
Nice. So, Scotty,
you guys ready for mine?
Let's pick up the music, the lovely background music that we got going on right now.
All right, so I got control of the timer. Oh, shit. And can someone try to keep track of what you guys guess? Because I realize I have to do the timer while I'm doing these as well.
Oh, okay, fair enough. I can make notes.
So if you want to get ready, I've just been typing like number one, and then I type the clue, and then I type what each person guessed.
Okay.
Okay, and while you're doing that, Avalise says Sonic Crush is a Catherine spinoff as Amy and Sonic 2016 human cause conflict with Sonic. I think I have the story right now.
Let's do it. Let's make it happen.
All right. Yeah, do the TM on that real quick, Avalise.
Yeah, get it out there.
All right, you guys ready?
Let's do this.
Okay, clue number one. Based off a movie.
I'm going to go with The Incredible Hulk.
All right. Chris, do you have a guess?
Hook.
Hook. And fuck you, Tornado Jones, for your guess of Resident Evil. All of those are wrong.
That's a good guess, actually.
Oh, brother. No, it is not Hook or Incredible Hulk based off a movie. Clue number two. It was remade into a JRPG.
Whoa.
Ooh.
That got real weird.
Based off a movie.
You can. I don't think we outlawed Friday the 13th. I don't think we outlawed turning around and just looking at your collection, Graham.
Oh, good.
Did we last time? I mean,
no.
Like if you can do it quickly enough. I don't know. Chat doesn't have anything.
Is that a clue for me? It's definitely a game I have.
Oh, I honestly don't know.
Based off a movie we made into an. I can't even think.
That's okay.
Wait, Chris, do you have any guesses?
Out. He said Friday the 13th.
Oh, did he? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Shining Force. No idea.
Oh, here we go, huh? Okay.
That movie.
It is not Shining Force or Friday the 13th. Chat guessed The Matrix, also incorrect. Okay. Clue number three. It encountered censorship immediately in different regions.
Oh, God. What?
I realize now a lot of these can be said about almost any game. Well, except for the second one, but censorship immediately in different regions.
Remade into a JRPG.
What was the second clue? The second clue is it was based on a movie, or
first clue is based off a movie. Second clue, remade into a JRPG. Third one, encountered censorship immediately in different regions.
Oh,
Chat just says, Graham sounds like something's brewing, but it's hurting. He's staring at his shelf. He's standing up. Looks like he's gonna take a major shit because he's just like, oh, what's happening?
I don't even have my collection.
I'm staring at my collection. Why have I bought any of these? Why is my life such a lie? I should know what he's talking about, but I don't. I can't go on until I figure this out. And he's practically doing squats of anger.
I've got an idea in my head of a game, I can't remember what it's called. I don't have it. Oh no.
Chris, do you have anything? Chris is looking down in disappointment.
I'm writing stuff down. What I'm doing.
Oh no.
I love this game. Man.
If I vaguely
Throw
guess what it
something out
might
there.
be but can't remember the name, can that work?
What did you say?
If I vaguely guess roughly what it is but I can't remember the name of the game, would that work?
Say what you're thinking.
So it's one of those, I believe it's like released on like the Mega CD first or something, or it's on the Mega CD, and it's like based kind of like on oh gosh, I forgot the name of the movie now. It's Harrison Ford movie. There's like androids in it and stuff, and they released another new version. What?
It's
Why can't I
painful to
remember?
watch this happen.
I
My
don't even
brain's
I'm not even
gone
going to help you here, Graham, because I know what you're talking about. But you're my enemy here, so you get
Well, it's not like you lose any points. So, do you want me to go on to the next clue?
Oh, maybe then.
Or do you want to guess it?
Yeah, you're
Go on
going
to
over, Graham. You don't
Go on
get
to
more
next
time.
clue. The time's
Done.
over. Go on to next clue.
Neither of you said a guess for that one. So right now we've got based off a movie, remade into a JRPG, and encountered censorship immediately.
Right. Okay. Right.
Chat, you're getting there.
I would say, did I already guess this time?
Neither of you said a guess for clue
RoboCop.
number 3 here.
Blade Runner was the movie. What was the game?
He's dying. Oh, he's dying. RoboCop? I will say RoboCop is not it. Man.
I won't look at the chat either.
Chat is demanding the fourth clue now. Do you guys want it?
Let's do it.
Fourth clue was released on 2 generations worth of Sega consoles.
Oh, that's tougher. Okay, then it's not the game I was thinking of.
That's like Saturn. It could either be Master System into Genesis.
Yeah, so you got like a 25% chance of guessing that since Sega had 4 consoles essentially, 4 mainline consoles. Master System, Genesis, Sega Saturn, Dreamcast. Was released on 2 generations of it. I will add to that, it is not a sports game.
God.
Somebody getting a call or something, somebody's buzzing. Chat, sorry, chat, I don't know if I can say what chat said. Because that might give it away.
I wouldn't say
Give it away now. Chat, you're getting close, though.
Right.
So to sum up, based off a movie, remade into a JRPG, encountered censorship immediately in different regions, was released on 2 generations worth of Sega consoles.
I can't remember the name of that game I'm thinking of.
Oh,
That's really.
I'm not sure if
bugging
you're-
me.
okay. Wait. No shit.
Unless I'm not.
Chat,
on the right
you're getting colder now. Chat, you're getting colder. You were warmer with your guess specifically, Corey, but Tornado Jones. Avali, I don't know how you got to that, but I can sort of understand your train of thought at the same time. 2 generations. Remember, you can use a Google it, like a Google phone a friend. I don't know what to call it. Lifeline. So do you guys want to do, like, I'll time you you'll get like, what do we say, like 15 seconds to Google it.
Okay.
Is that enough time to type something in? So get your browser ready. and then I'll hit.
I just remember the name of the game I was thinking of.
Oh, okay, go for it.
But now I'm not sure if it's the right one. Was it Snatcher?
Oh my god, just guess. What'd you say?
Snatcher.
Boom, we have a winner!
God damn it. Duh.
It is Snatcher.
My bell's not working. There we go. There's a bell.
Ding, 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 ding. So the chat said the clue that I did not want to say, or the answer that I did not want to say that Tornado Jones said was Blade Runner. Avali said all I can think of is D, that was on the Sega CD, I think. Then Tornado Jones said Shin Megami Tensei. Then he said, what? And Tornado Jones said, this some bullshit. So
I was trying to think of the name. All I could think of was Strider in my head. It kept coming back to Strider. I'm like, that's not the game.
I again kept thinking Night Trap for some reason, even though I knew it wasn't Night Trap. But I was like, oh my god! And I did say Blade Runner at one point, but it might have been after the chat said I don't know. But yeah, I was just like,
you said that, and I think I don't know. I might not have heard you say that. So I
said the movie is Blade Runner. I suddenly said that. I said that out loud.
Oh, okay. I definitely didn't hear that.
I got too excited.
I believe says, son of a bitch. I thought of that earlier, but didn't think it was a JRPG. So my first clue is sort of a trick because it's not. It is not a Blade Runner video game, but it is literally a Blade Runner video game. Chris knows this. He's played it. Graham, have you actually played Snatcher?
No, I have not, sir.
Okay. This is another plug for Cliff's Repair Zone, or whatever the hell it's called, that does repros, because this is a repro that I have that's a lot cheaper than the, what's it called, the original game would be, because the manual that I can't get out of the frickin' box right now is also very well done. It's got some color comics there and everything, so... Skyro says I was so off base. But yeah, Kojima made this game. It's made by Konami. It's basically super inspired by Blade Runner, Terminator, Akira. The next clue that I had involves a character who appeared in the game 20 years later. That's Metal Gear Mark II. My other clues involved, the easier ones was recently re-released on one of the many mini consoles, because the TurboGrafx / PC Engine mini console has Snatcher on it. However, to lead into the next clue, the English version was never re-released because that version on the PC Engine Mini is Japanese. My next clue, I guess, might be a little too difficult if you're not into anime, but I said that it has a harem-type ending because it's just a little bit ridiculous how there's so many girls randomly that are into Gillian. Tornado Jones just gifted a sub to Scour the Dragon. So thank you for that, sir.
Nice. Thank you.
You get some special emotes, such as my face. The other clues were uses a light gun, and then the last clue, which I don't know if it was helpful or would have been, it said the later half of the game includes long cutscenes, which has warranted both complaints and praise by the fan base.
Okay.
So the thing that I learned in researching for this game, it was made into a JRPG called SD Snatcher. S is in Sally, D is in Delta. Super Demented Snatcher, which is a full JRPG with super deformed character, or whatever the tiny, like, shrunk down characters are. So it's got the same story and everything. Yeah, chibi-ish. But you have like an actual overlay of battles and running around different areas and stuff like that. I learned that doing this, and I kind of want to play that now. Even though I'm sure it's so much longer, just because of that, maybe feels a little drawn out. But Snatcher was released. Oh, let's go back to the other clue. It was released on Sega CD and also Sega Saturn.
Yes, yeah.
And for the censorship, there is an exposed boob that was totally censored in the American release. I think outside of Japan, basically. There's also a severed head that does not show up, I believe, in the Japan release, because that's kind of taboo, decapitation. But it was censored immediately for other regions.
I believe there was also a picture, like a bit with a dead dog in it or something, and in the Japanese version there's blood or there's bits twitching in it, whereas it's just a still image in the outside of Japan, basically.
For some reason that makes a difference.
Yeah,
somewhere.
But yeah. I genuinely was thinking of this on the remade into JRPG one, Like when you said basically,
Oh, really?
Like that was what I was going. Oh my god! And I was like looking at my shelf, thinking, "Do I have this?" But I don't have it. I don't. So I was just like, "Oh!" And yeah, that censorship thing really cemented it for me, and that's why I was like, "Oh." Yeah. Good.
Nice.
Excellent.
So did you knew that it was made into a JRPG?
Yeah, I did. I knew about SE Snatcher. Yeah.
That was a brand new thing for me. I had to look up a playthrough to see like if this was a legit game or whatever.
If someone's asked me if Snatcher was a JRPG, I probably would have gone no. But when you said it was remade into JRPG, I was like, yeah, that game was. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and
nice.
I thought based off a movie would have been one of those things. It's like, oh, maybe because I knew that was kind of basically based off Blade Runner, that game, effectively.
I'm going to pimp Limited Run more because I have the cassette, courtesy of Chris, actually. He got this for me. The cassette soundtrack. Cool little red thing.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Nice.
Wow. Yeah, Snatcher is good. Snatcher it's not for everybody. It's a text adventure, if anything. It's an sort of actiony with the gun parts, but I recommend it. We did a sideshow. We did, I think, 3 episodes of the sideshow dedicated to it between us and Anti Chris. Good stuff.
Yeah.
So excellent. What's that bring the scoreboard up to?
Oh god, I've just actually forgotten. So I got
Good job.
one just then. I forgot to make notes of who got. So Chris got one. Dear, damn that guy. Chris got one. Graham got one. And wait, I've just forgotten who guessed stuff. So Chris got mine straight away. I got yours, Scotty.
Who got mine?
Who got Chris's?
Graham did.
Yeah, I think you got 2 points.
I got 2 points. What a twist! Yep. Yes, I'm building them up. I'm now drawing the Scotty who has 3 points. So this is very exciting, everybody. This is
everything's made up and the points don't matter.
Oh yeah, and but it's all to play for the chat. So going forward, the chat is involved. You can guess, and we will try and give out points where we can. So excellent.
You got close.
Yeah.
Roar.
So with that, I guess that finishes that feature, but also finishes the show. So, Chris, have we got any magazine announcements coming out at all anytime soon, or are we?
I hope so. I keep saying soon, but I'm going to keep saying soon because we will have something to announce here very quickly. So.
And Scotty, do we have any site or streaming or whatever announcements? Anything else going out there?
Recently on the site, we did our top game of 2020. The whole staff took part in that. So that's a good read. Go ahead and check that out. There's a good bit of news going on here and there. And we are streaming almost every day of the week, including today since we're doing this live. Monday, TJ Kitsune does Phantasy Star Online 2 stuff typically, or something else. Lately, he's been doing Atomus Wave. It's not the South Park console. And Tuesdays, I've been taking over. I'm going to do maybe a retro shooter this week. I was playing Turok recently. That game is boring at times.
No!
If you don't know where you're going, I lost interest, and I switched over to Sonic Racing Transformed after I did the 3rd level. Dude, there's so many times where there's just nothing happening. If you don't know where you're going, it's
I will make you love that game, sir. Let's do this. Let me jump on.
It's not
Hand
how
me
it
those
works.
controls.
No.
Get me on the Parsec. I'll take control.
Skyro's asking for a Golden Axe stream, Graham. Maybe you should do Beast Rider one of these days.
I could do Golden Axe Beast Rider.
That's the typical thought process of Chris. The audience asks for something, he gives them the thing they do not want, but slightly related to it.
Hey, you didn't specify which Golden Axe here, so
we could try and do a Golden Axe at some point. Yeah,
but we've got Wednesday. I can't remember. There's almost something. If you follow our Twitter, we have the schedule posted every week. Thursday, we are doing Thursday Night Throwdown with Scott Pilgrim since that game is releasing that day. Happy birthday to me, I guess, and we'll be doing some of that online. And then Friday, Chris and Graham. Do you guys know what you're playing this coming week?
What are we playing, Graham?
Hopefully, maybe some more Sea of Thieves. I don't know. Or do you want to do something different?
Let's do some Sea of Thieves.
Sea of Thieves. We were terrible last time, so let's be slightly less terrible.
I feel like we at least have to redeem ourselves before we
need to do something. We need to beat some pirates up.
Scotty, check the chat. Tornado.
Sonic Racing Transformed next week, he says, so that should be cool.
Very good.
And then, sorry, I'm trying to log in. The thing kicked me out so that we can raid somebody. Friday, so you guys are doing that. And then Saturday, Chris has been streaming Phantasy Star 4 and been making progress in that, which is pretty cool. So yeah, we got something going on just about every day of the week, people. So keep an eye on our Twitter.
Feature coming out on the website as well of like what games that we're most looking forward to in 2021. So that's going to be coming very soon, either this week or next. But that's going to be a lot of the staffers are joined in on that. It's a follow up to the one where we just look back at our favorite games of 2020. So now we're kind of looking ahead.
Cool. So yeah, and if anybody listening or watching or whatever, it's actually on the screen for anyone watching, but if you want to follow us or anything, you can find us at megavisionsmag.com where we do regular news and features and stuff from there. We are also on Twitter at megavisionsmag, Instagram at megavisions, Facebook at megavisionsmag, and you can support our magazine, physical and digital magazine. We do gaming news, lots of Sega-focused stuff, but also a little bit of indie and other bits and pieces here and there. It's on patreon.com/Megavisions. So there you can find us. And Scotty, are you loading up a raid? We're going to take someone down?
Everything's on fire. No, I'm not ready.
It's not happening. It's not working.
It's not raidy.
I was trying to ask the chat who we should raid, and I realized I wasn't logged in as Megavisions. I was logged in myself, so I had to log out and then log back in, and it wasn't taking the password. I don't know who we should raid because nobody's online right now, so let's see if anybody's playing Snatcher. I don't think anyone is. Nope.
Oh, Skyrim Dragons just mentioned someone.
Who? What are they, and who is their daddy, and what do they do?
Master Go 89, all one word. And thanks, Avu Lee. Thanks for joining us.
Barney charity stream.
It is? Okay, well, that wouldn't make any sense.
No, apparently he's playing Genshin Impact. I'm not sure what that is, but we can... go.
That sounds about right, because that's a super popular game. So... Sorry, Graham, I love you.
No idea.
Oh god, everything's broken. Everything's fucking broken. I was going to try to look up something else that somebody's playing. What was another game you guys suggested? What was one of our games that we crushed? Oh! I bet no one's playing that.
I've got Genshin Impact on my computer. I just never played it. I've actually downloaded it.
Oh my god.
Thanks, guys.
We'll raid you.
That's good. Oh dear.
We'll go ahead, and if I can get back to our main page, we'll go ahead and raid him and see what he's doing right now. But yeah, guys, again...
I'll go ahead, I'm sorry.
I had nothing.
I was just saying, he says Genshin Impact is the Breath of the Wild meets JRPG, so that could be something that totally throws in more fire, fuel to the fire for Graham talking shit about Breath of the Wild.
It could. Tornado says the wait, so we're going to wait because he's the stream captain, essentially. The Twitch captain. The captain. Captain of our Twitches.
While you're saying that, Avu Lee says, this was fun. Thanks, guys. Thank you for joining us, Avu Lee. Thank you, everybody else, Sky the Dragon, Tornado Jones. Thanks for joining us, hopping in, getting involved in the chat. That's been great. Yeah. Graham is a Breath of the Wild hater. I'm not necessarily a hater. Okay, I'm very careful with my words here. I think it's not a good Zelda game, but I do think it's a good game. That's my thing about Breath of the Wild. I'm a big fan of the Zelda games, but I don't think Breath of the Wild's a good Zelda game. But yeah.
I think you're going to end up saying that once a week. At this
basically.
So
no, sorry, don't rescind that. Don't rescind that. Oh dear.
So Gel Sensei is streaming Sonic Transform. We'll go ahead and raid them. And Corey said, Tornado Jones, whoever you want to be, said they are looking forward to Scott Pilgrim. So we're going to hop in there. I hit the enter button. Graham, go ahead and do your shit. We're going to raid them about 8 seconds, 7, whatever. Thank you so much, guys. Keep an eye on us on Twitter. Thanks for hanging out. Stay safe out there.
Excellent to each other. Yeah. Are we raiding?
And we are now raiding with... Honey, I gotta tell you about this sandwich.